APC has failed to deliver to the Nigerians. They don't even factor us. So if they don't have this pressure on them, they will not act. So we want to see Americans putting the pressure on the APC regime. We want to see sanctions diplomatically on specific persons of interest in this country. These are the things I believe the government can do to show honesty. They already have a list. It's been made simple. The Bola Tinubu regime must be seen to go after and prosecute those personalities, financiers or promoters who have used Islam, who have used terror in order to push this ideology in this country. If he feels he cannot do it, he can do what Obasanjo did with Charles Taylor. There are ways you can hand over these people to the international community so that they will see this honesty. Secondly, vigilante, political or community policing. We need to revive it. This thing of, yes, we are talking of constitutional amendment. Do we need state police? Things like that. The truth of the fact is that the security architecture in Nigeria has been compromised. You see the Nigerian Air Force, rather than bombing the Islamists or the killers, they are bombing innocent people. They are bombing the refugees. And they will tell you it's a mistake. Nobody probes such kind of actions. The security architecture has compromised. There must be this synergy. The government will find out ways until we talk of this constitution, until there's a proper constitutional review. Communities, especially these affected areas, their vigilantes need to be empowered to give that protection to their people, to work with the so-called federal police, right? Then another thing is reform. This Sharia law, to be candid, the adaptation of Sharia was political. The northern states that adopted Sharia, they used it as a cover to push whatever Islamic ideology they are pushing or whatever politics they are pushing. It has given reason and action to mob actions. People are killed because they are suspected of blasphemy, not even that they even blasphemed. The Nigerian state under Bola Tinubu has to look back into this Sharia law. If for the main time the northern governors have to suspend it, the only time, if you watch the Sultan of Sokoto, the only time he's very proactive is when somebody says something about the Quran or Prophet Muhammad. But you see killings in the north, especially the Muslims. Sadly, some people don't even know that even the Muslims are dying because of this conspiracy of silence from northern leaders. From some of them, the prominent ones, there is this conspiracy, silence of the graveyard. They just keep quiet. Namune mentality. This blasphemy law has to go. It has given room, it has given excuse for murderous talk to kill their fellow citizens. And above all, Bola Tinubu has to immediately send ambassadors to countries. Not based on tribalism, because he's a tribalist, but based on competent square pegs in square holes. We need to start dialoguing with these nations. But before then, in the next 42 hours, America needs to put more pressure on the Nigerian government to act. Number 6 has said they will sit down after 1 month. I don't think they understand what is really happening. America has to add pressure to the Nigerian government. We don't want it to get to a state of war. We don't want it to get to the state of shock and awe. We don't want it to get to a surgical bomb, but we want to see America do more. We thank them for what they are doing, but they still have to put more pressure on this APC government that has shown clear incompetence in every aspect of governance so that the Nigerian people can survive. On that, I yield. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Dutch OGB, for your wonderful submission. I'll pass the mic to Beautiful Flower. Beautiful Flower, you have the mic.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I wanted to just say something really short that I think, we have this huge trade partnership that we signed last year, 2024, with the US. And we have a lot of health and social, humanitarian, and even security partnership that we have with the US, one of the largest actually. So we are a strategic and very important partner with the US. And that being said, we're seeing the works of lobbying groups, those who want to, the different insecurity we have in Nigeria, those who want to color it with their own interests. So we have a group that color the killings in the Southeast, for example. They use the specific killing of, they use marginalization, political marginalization, and also deaths. And they, sometimes use, not sometimes, they color it under, the targeting of Christians. And we know people in the Southeast are majorly Christians. So technically, if you also look at where their interests lie, it's on, the Satanist. And so it just depends on what you're looking at. Now, what I look for is pattern in Africa. Has this happened before in any country? What has the US done? Even when they take this politically harsh tone, what do they especially do? So we'll take Darfur, we'll take Ethiopia, and then we'll take Niger. Darfur had the same moral argument like what we're seeing with Nigeria. It was the same claim of genocide. Ethiopia was just mass killing. And what did the US do in Ethiopia, in Darfur, for example? The major thing was to, I think it would just be sanctioned. I don't think they will put boots on the ground in Nigeria at all. I just think they will name and shame. So there was a lot of naming and shaming in Ethiopia. Release the list of those funding. We can't. I know people say, oh, why can't Nigeria release the list of these people? It's beyond our jurisdiction. It's an international this thing that would do that, even mainly from the UN, and then trace the funding and then release it. So maybe the Nigerian government will show that as work, because what you would do to counter the US or to show that no, the Tinubu administration is actually trying as much as possible to stop the killings of Nigerians, even if they don't want to say Christians, that's fine. And this is what we've been doing, and this is where we are, this is how we need your help, and this is how we'll cooperate so that we don't get sanctioned. That way, there's no visa restriction. This one annoys Nigerian elected officials. You really want to target them, just restrict their movement. They hate it. So there'll be lots of what should we watch out for? I think there'll be lots of diplomatic pressure. They might threaten to keep humanitarian aid. Believe it or not, the US spend a lot of money in the hot zones in the Northeast as well for humanitarian aid and support, and also strategic security intelligence and training. So they might threaten to withdraw that. And then they might, what they will do mostly if they sanction visa, if they try to keep aid away, is also for Nigeria to really, really be tough, and then begin to be more clear. Now, for Ethiopia, because of what they did in Ethiopia, I think it might be more effective, right? So they threatened to remove Ethiopia from Angola, and they did that, right? Now, the Tinubu administration, now that things are a bit tough in Nigeria, they would not want the trade partnership to be off. Honestly, that one economically we can survive, because what that means is once things get tougher than this, Nigerians will take to the streets, and no government like that really, because protesting can just go, to any length. So hopefully the Nigerian government give a body language that they're serious. They stop being antagonistic. They stop denying and trying to label people, calling attention to this thing as unpatriotic. To me, it's just emotional blackmail that doesn't make sense. I personally believe there's Christian genocide in Nigeria, and so when I tweet, I'm going to tweet along those lines, right? And so anybody else that feel like, because I'm talking about Christians, that maybe it's anti-Muslim, my brother or sister, tweet your own. The important thing is we want help, we need help. This insecurity issue has been going on for so long. I mean, it's coming to the south. It's coming to the safe zone. At this point, Nigeria is engulfed with all types of insecurity, whatever you want to call it. So we need help. And I hope this current administration, they sit up so that way, we don't have more sanctions that will now make life even more difficult.
Good evening, Mindset, and good evening to everyone on the platform. Once again, we are here having this conversation, and I wish it's on better circumstances. You see, Mindset, this is exactly what we've been trying to see.
Sorry, Ariwa, there's noise in your background. Is there any way you can find a much better place? Are you able to speak without the noise?
Yes, of course.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
So we've been saying we need to tread carefully because we are dealing with Donald Trump. He's one of the most unpredictable person I've known. I've actually been a great fan of Donald Trump for quite a while. And the fact that he has made this threat, it means that there's actually a possibility that something crazy can happen because he just do things. He doesn't think deep. The truth is, for those who are paying attention, it is clear to you by now that there is another motive entirely regarding this situation that America is involving itself. It didn't even give Nigeria a chance to respond. He asked two congressmen, I think, to report to him regarding the situation. He didn't even wait for them anymore. And all these things are happening simultaneously within a short period of time. Where have this energy been? Why now? So you see, the challenges that we're having is that when we say there's an ulterior motive to this thing, people think we are conspiracy theorists because it is vividly clear to everybody that people in Nigeria are getting killed irrespective of religion, tribe, or what have you. The datas are there. This thing has been going on for decades. And then all of a sudden, you have an angle that people are leveraging on just to have a reason to tell you what to do in your country or to have boots on ground in your country. A sovereign nation like Nigeria, you can imagine Donald Trump having this audacity to tell Nigerians that he can come in gun blazing. This is unfortunate that we are even seeing this in 2025. But we have had people who have welcomed this development. If America is trying to help Nigeria fight these insecurities, there are numerous ways they can do it. They don't have to threaten Nigeria. Nigeria has a functioning government. We may not like the government we have, but we have a functioning government. They can choose to liaise with them, see areas in which they can come in and assist, and then we can tackle this situation. But you cannot you can't pitch people against themselves, and then you say you're coming in to fight the Islamic extreme. Where exactly? So the Nigerian government and the Nigerian army have been fighting this thing for years. Even though does not have the sophistication or due to corruption or leadership problem, which we all know, but we can't just let our country go like that. Where has it ever end well in a country that America has boots on ground? Where? In the entire history. It never ends well for anybody. There is no beneficiary at the end of the day. We all end up losing. We already have too much problems. Being a war-torn country should be the last thing on our mind. And here we are now, because some people in our country, we refuse to address this thing the way it is. We decided to liaise with the American buyers and thinking we're doing the right thing, and this is where we are. When the boots are on ground, if the American government happen to come to Nigeria, which is very much not likely if you ask me, but with Donald Trump, you can't see. Anything can happen. They are not going to ask questions. The displacement will touch everybody. And this is the problem and what we have been saying over and over and over again. The sudden interest in this situation is shady, and the angle at which they are approaching this conversation is also shady. It doesn't make any sense because we live in Nigeria. We are Nigerians. We are trying to tell what is happening in our country, and you're telling us another thing. So it doesn't even make sense. But some thought, okay, yes, they are coming to help Nigeria. No, they are not. It's clear now. If you can read between the lines, you know that there is a motive behind this thing. And helping you is not one of them. I yield for now myself.
Thank you very much, Ira, for your submission. I'll pass the mic to Dr. Usman. Dr. Usman, you have the mic. Good evening, sir. I hope I'm still audible. Dr. Usman, can you hear me, sir? All right, so since Dr. Usman
yes,
is not responding...
I can hear you, mindset. I'm sorry. I can hear you. Hello?
Okay, you have the mic. You have the mic, sir.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was just reading through Twitter, and then I saw this recent post from Donald Trump, and also the reply from the Secretary of Defense in the US. Things are not really looking good for the country right now. And like some of what Arewa and many other people have said, I think there is a motive behind this. And if you are a deep analyst, you have to understand that the Nigerian government is not in the good books of the American government right now. And one of the dangers of voting, politicians of questionable character is this thing that is happening now. When some of us vote, talked about, against putting this character in that office, people think we're just being malicious because we are not in APC. We don't like his face. We don't like his tribe. Excuses. But now you can see if you put a guy with questionable character in that office, a lot of things will go wrong. He has not been able, as bad as Buhari was, he was able to go and network with all global leaders. If Buhari goes for a meeting, almost everybody wants to shake hands with him and discuss. But this character that is calling himself Nigerian president cannot even go to the US and talk to anybody because nobody is willing to talk to him. And this is the same energy that they fail to put, the energy that they are putting in trying to rig themselves back into office in 2027 is not the energy that they are putting to make lives better of anybody in that country or improve the security situation. We have the military having a lot of budgets. Every day you hear military spending money. And I'm not saying that the military guys are not trying their best, but I am not a security person, but I know that there is a lack of political will and there is lack of coherent strategy to stamp this thing out once and for all. And that I'm of the suspicion that there are people in high places who are benefiting from this thing that's happening in Nigeria, and that is why this thing cannot come to an end. Ever since Yar'Adua died in office, this Boko Haram thing and insecurity and kidnapping in Nigeria has been on the rise up till now. This over like a decade. Buhari came. I was wondering at some point, Buhari said he had a list of some terrorist sponsors. He was even willing to name them and shame them. But for some reason, Buhari finished his 8 years silent. This guy came into office, with no rebuttal in place, talking about things as if they're going to take action tomorrow. Nothing changes. So this is a wake-up call, and I'm sure our policymakers in Nigeria today cannot sleep tonight because they understand the implication of what they are doing to themselves. Government or being voted into office is a liability in itself. It's not all about operating like a king, flying around, spending money, appointing people, doing and undo. But you are taking responsibility of everything that is wrong in that country. You are sticking your neck to say, look, I am the one in charge of this place. Anything that goes right, I'm responsible. Everything that goes wrong, I'm responsible. But I don't think our politicians understand the negative implication of what they are doing. It's all about jamboree, going into office, spending money, stealing money, everything. Doing and undo, breaking laws. That's all about it. But when it comes to taking responsibility, fixing the mess in the country, making sure that the country is at least habitable, people can at least sleep in their homes with 2 eyes closed. Nigeria has become so difficult for anybody to do that right now. And they're talking about 2027 election, 2027. One guy was even telling me yesterday, because I was asking people that Tinubu is going to win 2027 election. I was like, what do you mean win? Where's the record? On which record is he going to win? What is it that he has fixed? Or is it loves Nigeria is going to panic with what these Americans are trying to do to our country? We don't know the collateral damage that's going to happen when they strike. And there is a blessing in disguise to what this Trump is doing, because he is the only guy on this planet that is going to make Tinubu not to sleep tonight, make all the service chiefs not to sleep tonight, go and do any kind of meeting that they will do to make sure that this thing is not happening. The narrative is about Christians. They are Nigerians, they have the right to live and be what they want to be. But in hindsight, it's also about everybody else. If the Christians are happy, because the Americans want to make the Christians happy, then the Muslims will also be happy. So it's a win-win for us. So in closing, is that if anybody here listening has any closeness with the people who are making laws, are responsible running the show in Nigeria today, should tell them that there is more about government than winning or stealing an election. They already have stolen this one. Let them use the remaining months that they have to fix the country. If they can't fix this country, I don't see a way out for them, and I don't see a way out for anybody when the Americans strike. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Usman. Captain, you have the mic.
Yes, Uncle Mindset. So what I wanted to say was, can you do me a favor personally and drop the people who have spoken, because we have more than 60 plus requests, so we can bring more people on the thing, please.
Thank you very much. So, those on the speaker section, if you think there's nothing else for you to add, please, if you can kindly leave the spaces. But if you think that's, you're going to add, please do stay with us, because it's more important that we have people who want to add something rather than having everybody and there's nothing to take home. But anyone who still want to be part of the conversation, request for the mic. Mr. Bike, you raise your hand. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, Mindset. One with terrorists. It is a written law in America that we do not negotiate with terrorists. Before, one of the things that circulated when the president changed service chiefs and CDS was that the CDS took a position not to negotiate with terrorists. And the government of the president, the governors were putting pressure on the president to negotiate with terrorists. A nation that does not negotiate with terrorists and sees another nation willing and prepared to negotiate with terrorists has endangered herself. So if boots are going to be on the ground, fine. But it's not going to work. But this idea of negotiating with terrorists, America is not going to take it lightly with anybody. And whoever decides to go in that direction, I think the person has, or the government has put herself in a mess. That's what I have to say for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Bike, for your submission. I'll pass the mic to Akin. Akin, good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Mindset, thanks again. Jamil, how you doing, bro? Listen, I hate where we are as a nation. I'm highly disappointed in this administration. For a government that, again, came guns blazing. The whole city boy tag, we know how to, run this country. We can dance, walk, and chew gum. To really just see them fumble, a response that should have been firm, calculated, precise. We're dealing with the issues locally and equally, again, appealing to the global community that truly they mean well. This whole thing is just in disarray. It's very sad. I woke up this morning and I saw Omoye's tweet. I responded what I thought, every Nigerian would expect. You don't have to give us, 100, 10 over 10, what we think an appropriate response is. They may see things I don't see from a vantage point. The security chiefs, could have more insights. But again, as an ordinary, everyday Nigerian, it breaks my heart that a young 5-year-old boy would wake up only to find his family slaughtered in the fields. An 89-year-old grandmother that has seen, everything from independence and, pre-independence would only lose her life at the hands of, people that we've tagged bandits, who are again terrorists, people that we find it easy negotiating with, offering peace terms, cookies, soft drinks, even buying them fuel when it comes to these meetings. It's just very sad. I love Nigerian military. We may not have a country that's perfect, but then I root for those guys every day. I went to military school. I've got friends that, wear the uniform every day. Some of them even died in active duty. So I understand it's a difficult job, but at a minimum, for what we invest in the military, looking at the budget, I think we can get more. Now, you talk about the fact that Nigeria is a very complex country to manage in terms of, competing, interests, the politics, the differences in religion, in ethnicity. Nigeria is one big pot with everybody in it, but at a minimum, we have a country that even where there is no power, where there is no good roads, schools are dilapidated, hospitals without doctors, we still wake up and we still even say good prayers for our leaders. We're a very tolerant group of people. But it gets to a point where we say, Haba, it's enough. And you cannot go to sleep at night in Lekki or in Abuja or in Asaba or in Port Harcourt, and then you have a fellow Nigerian in Bauchi, in Taraba, in Benue, who has to wake up or not wake up in the morning because he was slaughtered like a chicken. And we have a country where, again, citizens don't have the right to bear arms. You can't defend yourself. So I would say 2 weeks ago, I equally had this point of view that perhaps there isn't a Christian persecution, because I'm very familiar with a lot of the clashes and intra-communal conflicts and the competition for resources between herdsmen who should not be roaming the country. We're not in 1965. It's 2025. Cattle rearing is a business, putting cattle and cows in ranches, and then a farmer that again is trying to preserve his stock that he's waiting for harvest. There's all kinds of issues. But at a minimum, our borders are porous. We have poor relations with our neighbors. And then there's the scourge of Islamic extremism. We need to say it like it is, coming in from the Sahel. That is a nuisance all over the world, and we need to keep at the borders. No Nigerian would disagree that it's a very tough job to manage, but at a minimum, impress us, show us that you're serious. When they slaughter 200 Nigerians, you shouldn't go hosting a banquet. Or even an SSA that comes on Twitter and says, hey, you know what? I couldn't eat all day after seeing pictures of people murdered. We just go on about our business. They jump in and out of convoys, drink their nice whiskey, wear their Louis Vuitton suits, come on TV and even mock you that may even have a Twitter account and say, you know what? Let me even put this thing on the spotlight. Again, we need a change in attitude when it comes to the value of human life. And it's very sad that when these things come up, there's this attempt to divide Nigerians, where it's a North versus South issue, or Muslims are being killed. Where were you people when there was a Boko Haram scourge in the North? Again, you have a country where leadership has this culture of getting the news agencies to suppress information, so we can just go about our business like things don't matter. The average American will stop you in Nigeria and show you gory images of the atrocities from many of these communities, and you'll be looking and say, how did they get these images? Because why? You have a country where suppression of information in the press has become we have leadership that has what we call coconut head. And they've gotten away with so much that it's become second nature. I don't want to start bringing up the Lekki tollgate shootings because you have a country where these things happen, get swept under the rug, nobody pays the price, nobody loses their job, nobody gets fired, it's all business as usual. Then you come even into the military where you have sabotage. Yes, truly and truly, are there even security forces that wake up every day trying to solve this problem? Of course. Do you have sabotaging? Of course. But how do you stand up and say, you know what, not on my watch? I will not be the president that will be embarrassed. In Buhari's administration, these things were mainstay and as usual, I'm going to do away with that. Let's even confront this conversation heads on. You have an administration where your president is a Muslim, your VP is a Muslim, your Minister of Defense is a Muslim, Minister of State of Defense is a Muslim, your foreign affairs faith is Muslim, but then you have people at your front door asking you, this household where Muslims are welcoming me in, Christians are being persecuted. Guys, optics. I'm not going to sit here and tell this administration what to do or how to, put Band-Aid on a wound, but at some point, find common sense and say, okay, how do we even engage with the global community? Equally, when we look inwards, interfaith, forums, how do we even make sure that everybody has a seat at the table and say, this problem is complex, these are issues that we resolve, even down to the local politicians, governors, House of Reps, senators that are even part of the problems with fueling some of these militant groups, competition for resources, illegal mining, put it on the table, prosecute, drag people by the neck, hang them from a pole. Let Nigerians say, okay, you know what, this man is serious, but you're not doing any of that. And you're now accusing citizens of being unpatriotic. Again, I want to enjoy my day to December. So when Trump, with his madness, will say, hey, I'm going to come guns blazing, God, I don't want any part of it. If we need to jump a government house fence before another president comes to, I will jump that government house fence. Don't bring foreign soldiers and come and scatter my Nigeria. I don't want my parents to be refugees in my own country. I will say it like it is. Because again, this is where we're headed as a country. And don't doubt these people. You have South Sudan, you have Sudan. They come in, they tear your country in half. You see what's going on in Congo? They tear it in half. How many countries are they torn in half? I don't want Nigeria to be torn in half. Our problems are complex. We've been managing ourselves small. But again, we don't want a country where we just sit idle and let a man that will drop bombs on a C-130 or drop troops, do mayhem, damage, go back home and say he was a crusader, he came to save Christians, and the world will applaud. I'm just saying, guys, speak the truth, speak truth to power, you won't die. Muslims are dying, Christians are dying, nobody should do away and say, oh, one life is more important than the other. But if the Christian groups run to the front and say, hey, you know what, our government is doing nothing, don't now look at them and say they're being unpatriotic. They want to live. If you want to live, you equally run to the door and shout, hey, we're being killed. Mindset, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akin, for your submission. On that note, I'll pass the mic to Big Man. Big Man, you have the mic. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mindset. Good morning. And thank you so much for this space. I'm not usually into politics discussions like this, but to be honest, I have to speak on this space, on this particular topic, because of course, what's happening lately. For the past 48 hours or 24 hours, Nigeria, of course, has been a trend, not just in Nigeria, but all over the world. I must say that a lot of speakers here have spoken my mind, to be honest. Akin has spoken my mind. Dodge spoke my mind. The truth is, the government has failed. And it depends on how you see what's happening right now, what Trump is doing. We all know Trump. He can be very, the way he behaves. There's no doubt. But I don't look at it, for me, I don't look at this from Christian or Muslim side. No. I've got Muslims as friends that I love so much. But when they tell you the stories of what's happening within the northern part of Nigeria, you will come to a point where you ask, when are we really going forward? whether we like it or not, people will come in the name of religion to bring an ideology or to fight in the name of religion. It's all for their own personal interest. And it has not helped this country move forward in any way. Christians are killed, there is no doubt. The numbers increases. Our sons and daughters have been slaughtered. Someone is saying we're sovereign state. For me, I just see it. It's only on paper that we're sovereign state, because this same state have housed terrorists, fed terrorists, breed terrorists for years. We've been in captive for more than a decade. Nothing has been done. I don't see where diplomacy has even helped in this situation. We have been doing this for years. Now, I'm not saying Trump should come with troops, whether he has his own interest or not. This is an opportunity. I just see an opportunity to eradicate this bastard. Sorry, I'm using this word, because the truth is, these are criminals. And just like Dodge said, put pressure on this government. If possible, sanctions on specific people. Because whether we like it or not, this whole drama, this whole movie it won't really end well in many respects. Yes, Trump has come out in the name of Christians. Fine. We all know how Trump behaves. But everyone will agree that since Trump next 2 hours or 48 hours, what happens? I believe as at now, things are already happening in the background. That's the truth. Should Americans come on to come into Nigeria? Is it a good idea? Some people still ask. It depends. Just my own opinion. I don't see the government doing anything sensible. That is the truth. So far, so good. So far, so good. If nobody has been doing something sensible for the past 10 years, is it now? So, what are we trying to say? This whole drama, it has to stop. And believe me, if it is through this way, these people can be eradicated. So be it. But everything has its own consequences, and that is what is alarming in some respect. And people are saying,
hey, Gawalele, greetings everyone. Gawalele, welcome. No, it's mindset space.
See, the truth is,
his name is
the man
Mindset.
strike. This one, you don't tell him not. This is a no-nonsense man. Irrespective of what he has done or the things he has done in the past, this is the same person that said peace through strength. He don't joke with Trump with his statements. I follow Trump so much. The very fact that he's 10 times better than Joe Biden as a president, who has been leading it, even if he has stubbornness, Trump is a man of his word. And if nothing is done in the next, from the Nigerian government, which I don't see any good thing happening, to be honest. I don't really know how these people are going to do anything.
Now, no waiting they happen now. The topic is on there.
Changes, which
Trump don't drop number 2, military action.
Should not be something we would like. You see, my prayer is whatever happens should favor the common man. That's my prayer. Whatever happens in the next 72 hours, in the next 48 hours, I use that particular time frame, should favor the common Nigeria. Because whether we like it or not, this country is a disaster. There is no doubt about it. And not just Christians are dying, Muslims are dying. A lot is happening in the northern part of Nigeria. I grew up in the north. So I know what this means. I have Muslim friends And this isn't, I don't just see this as Christians or Muslims, forget what people are saying. But whatever that is happening, let it happen for good. What is meant to be will be. That is all I have to say.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Dickman, for your submission. Please, guys, we have about 75 requests. So the next person that will speak, let's be very mindful of time. Let's see if we can carry out the persons who are requesting for the mic along. Barrister Henry, you have the mic, sir. Good evening. Sorry, am I still audible?
Yes, Uncle Mindset, you are.
Okay, Barrister Henry, you have the mic, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mindset. Good evening to everybody on the space. Just quick one, because I know a lot of people are requesting to speak. But a few thoughts. Firstly, I think we must appreciate the power of the media and how globalized the world is today. We all know how this conversation started. A lot of people took it for granted. Even the federal government took it for granted. But here we are. And I think this is a very delicate place to be. Firstly, you still see a number of people arguing, is there persecution, is there no persecution? If we want to be honest with ourselves, documented facts exist to show that there has been a lot of economic, structural, and political persecution against Christians in Nigeria, especially Christian minorities in the north. I always say that if anybody doubts it, go and ask, churches that have very strong presence in the north, in Middle Belt, Ekwa, Kokin, ERN, and the rest of them. Many of them even have catalogs of members who have been killed for no other reason other than the fact that they have been, or that they profess the Christian religion. Further, and like I said, it is structural. Even the most widely publicized case of Deborah that many of us know about. For me, this case is iconic because it shows you the complicity of government. Where a person was stoned to death at a school ground by people who were caught on camera stoning her, the next reaction you expect of a competent dispassionate government is that these persons who were filmed on camera will be prosecuted. Till today, not a single finger was lifted against those who threw stones and killed a young girl on a school campus in Sokoto State. So it tells you that beyond even the genocide, there's a form of structural persecution that goes on. I've said it before, whether people believe it or not. When I was practicing law in Kogi and in Nasarawa State, I have seen people in Kogi State who had to bear the name of, bear Muslim names so that they can have opportunities in the civil service. This is not to indict all Muslims in Nigeria, but there is a clear-cut case of structural and political persecution in the country. And when these issues, when these clamors began to come to the fore, thanks to people, the popular priests from Benue who took this wide, and so many other activists even on Twitter who have been commenting about this issue, you find that there is this tactics by not mean well for the country. I think that's the best way I can describe them. Somebody comes to say, because I align myself or I profess the religion of Christianity, my church has been burned. People have been killed. My family members have been killed by Islamic terrorists or bandits or whatever the case may be. And somebody says, well, it is an insecurity matter. After all, IPOB is killing people in the southeast. After all, Boko Haram has killed Muslims too. That is diversionary. That is, and I say this because it's the posture of the Nigerian government. The community is saying we're being wiped out solely because of our affiliation to a particular religion. And the government says, well, there's insecurity all over Nigeria. So it's like, I give a typical example, say maybe there's a death that burns out of racism in the US. So somebody says, person A was killed because of racism. Then somebody replies and says, do you know the population of people who were killed in Chicago? It is a general crime, or, it is just diversionary and misleading. And that's the unfortunate posture that the government has taken. Hence, we are here, we are where we are today. Rather than take up, verifiable means or objective means to engage the communities and simply undertake to put even better security measures on ground to guarantee their lives. What we saw was sponsoring of Breno Mokiri and, the rest of some of these funny people to come out and deny certain things that are obvious. And I think in conclusion, this is where we must all be very careful. We have gotten to this point and it looks like, well, nothing is going to... A lot of people are still saying, well, it's just a comment by the US president who's arguably the most powerful person in the world. People are saying he holds no moment. It's of no moment. It matters not. We can continue to live our lives however we like. Here's some people saying maybe this is the time for Nigeria to align itself with Saudi Arabia, or align itself with Russia, or align itself with China. Very, very funny, childish conversations. The US has been our greatest, most critical partner in terms of arms supply. The efforts we made against Boko Haram wouldn't have even made it, but for the support of the United States. Then here we are today with a president of questionable integrity, with a VP who hired bishops to put up a Christian face during an APC rally, and yet they say it's not about religion. And all of a sudden, people want to say it matters not. And this is what I'm saying. It's very, it's very important that we take note of the fact that issues are escalating. The best effort a reasonable government would put up now would be to quickly set up imperative security guarantees for those communities that are most hit by this persecution. Set up legal framework, because for one, you cannot say that there is no form of persecution in the country where some people have been killed for blasphemy. Blasphemy is a religious, and this is where it becomes critical for all of us to understand. Sorry, myself, I'll round up very soon. When you think about the legal system in Nigeria, many people don't understand how convoluted it is. The Nigerian Constitution provides guarantees for people who are charged with crimes. You will now think about it, then you remember that in the same country, under the same legal acquis, some people, Christians and Muslims alike, are being charged, arraigned, persecuted, or prosecuted, whatever the case may be, under religious laws. So, despite Section 10 that says Nigeria is a secular country, we have a country today where some people are being prosecuted for crimes that don't emanate from the Constitution, that don't emanate from any criminal code, but emanate from a religious book. So you have a criminal justice system that is hinged in part on the application of religious laws, and in many instances to non-Muslims, like in the case of Deborah, who was killed, and to today no repercussions. So we must be very careful about how we address this issue, because we may look at it as though it's a joke, but these are times when it could escalate further in such a way that doesn't even augur well for the current political class, current political leadership. These are the kind of things that in certain instances propel revolution because of the kind of support and backing for the type of issues that are on ground. Thank you, myself.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Henry. Please, if anybody would like to respond to what Barrister Henry said, do raise your hand. We'll pass the mic to you. On that note, I'll pass the mic to Bolanle. Bolanle, good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Hey, mic set. I hope you're doing okay. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Awesome. Good morning. I have seen people crashing out all over social media over Trump, threatening to invade, or but then it's like, have we not already been invaded? I mean, we have so many people in
That started again. No, Mona Novice. Hey, I don't know what is going on with this system. Sorry.
We'll continue to put politics before human lives. I mean, at the end of the day, right, is there an issue around terrorists slaughtering whole villages of Christians in the Middle Belt, particularly, with some of it creeping into the Southwest, right? At what point? Because if it's...
She has left she's still obedient, but she's left leadership.
It defeats the object.
She don't leave the leadership part.
APC came into power and they had no intention whatsoever to tackle insurgency. Right? We have lost soldiers because they have continuously gone out there thinking they're fighting for their country, but somebody's colluding with the terrorists, and they sack almost whole units. These young men are dying unnecessarily. And so now they want to remember that they're a sovereign country. Really? I mean, do I really want them to come into Nigeria? I don't know, to be frank. I just want the killing to end. And people, I think I saw some comments around, it's the it's what's in the ground that they are after, blah 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 blah. I'm tired. At the moment, is it not government? People in government, are they not stealing our oil? Are they not stealing? Have they not borrowed against it? God knows when we'll be able, to repay it. But the point is this: if that's what they're asking, negotiate a deal, 10% cut. If it means that the terrorists will be rounded up and shot, no prison, because we know what they do over the years. We are talking here, there are people who cannot close their eyes tonight, and it is not being tackled as a threat to all of us. I mean, at the end of the day, Nigeria can happen to anybody. Right? And so those who are standing on, it's not this, the government is a lie, and what have you, I guess you can sleep at night. However, if Trump is coming, let's go there. Thank you, I yield.
All right, thank you very much, Banda, for your submission. Thank you for keeping to time as well. I'll pass the mic to Dr. Emeka, then I will go to Kabiru, and then I'll go to Paul. Dr. Emeka, you have the mic. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mindset. Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigeria. I'm happy to be here again, and let me start by thanking Mindset for always creating an avenue for people to express themselves and talk about the nation. A lot of people have said very important facts from what Akin said, from what Usman said, and Barrister Henry, and as well as Bolanle and a few others. But let me start by saying that any nation that wants to be serious would elect a compassionate leader. But the question here is whether we elected a compassionate leader, or do we have people who are compassionate, who are really can feel the pain of the citizens, or they are just politicians that are self-centered? Do you understand of losing a loved one? A president that can understand that people are dying for what they did not bring upon themselves, and you have a mandate to protect them. So there should be an empathy, irrespective of the tribe, religion, or whatsoever. This did not start from the current president, even the previous president. I am a fan of Trump because I know it is not like a politician that makes his words. If he says it, he means it. That you're speaking about patriotism, he is talking about making America great. Can we have a president making Nigeria great? We have a question or a problem of terrorism. That's what we should be talking about. Terrorism. We are not meant to be discussing about whether he's Muslim or he's a Christian. But that these terrorists, they are killing these people. And these people are proud. They have cried loud. So why should you be worried about the people? They are crying that the loved ones are dying. That's the perspective I saw what Adamu Gaba, analyzed earlier, which I came also, emphasized. If you are a Muslim and you're not happy with what the terrorists are doing and they are killing the Muslims, please speak loud. If you are a Christian and you see the terrorists are wiping away people, speak loud. So we shouldn't be defending government because they have the responsibility to protect us. They are concerned because of 2020. This is all their focus. Why people are dying. Poverty and a lot of insecurity everywhere. And you come to Twitter, everything you see is bigotry, disunity. How are we going to build a nation? By fighting ourselves and allowing the politicians to deceive us at all times. A president should be sensitive to all of this whole thing. You have to unite the country for you to be able to fight the common enemy. If we are not united, we will not be able to identify that this is where the problem is. We will continue to make excuses. We will continue to look at people who are working with you. How are they going to be honest? So you use someone like Reno Mockery. People who have lost their souls. Or they pay you 20,000 or 30,000 or whatever they pay you weekly or 2 weekly or monthly, and you come to Twitter to defend them for what sake? Are you helping yourself? I'm a medical doctor. I should have been practicing in our country. But I left like so many of my colleagues because they have a country that the leaders have failed. I have once treated a patient that told me that my country has more than what they have. But here we are, the president of another country, trying to remind us that if we don't do well, that they will intervene. What a big shame. What a big shame. This is a very sensitive thing. Our country is a multi-tribal and multi-religious country where you have almost equal percentage of the big religion, Muslim and Christians. So we should create an environment for people to live together and love one another, and to be able to elect a leader that will lead them with honesty and fairness. So I want to conclude by saying that we have a common enemy, and that enemy is the terrorism that is destabilizing Nigeria. Irrespective of your religion, you have to speak out and say the truth. And when we do so, that's the only way we can all survive as a country. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Emeka. Dr. Emeka, for your submission. Please, guys, the topic is Trump threatens military action in Nigeria. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? What would be the consequences? I want us to stick to that topic, please, for the next person who would speak. I'll pass the mic to Kabiru, then I'll come back to Mr. Paul. Kabiru, you have the microphone.
Thank you very much. Good morning, that's Masit, Chandamilu and BIG. Well, during the recent days, we have been senators of the United States of America and Nigerian governments, and here I attended today. So America is treating Nigeria that they are going to attack. Yesterday, putting Nigeria in a list of countries of a particular concern, which is not only Nigeria, that is part of this country that are on particular concern. A country like Saudi Arabia, country like Iran, Russia, China, were part of this list of U.S. country of particular concerns. But I was saying that if there is no any sanctions or threats by the U.S. government, definitely it's just like a mere word or mere saying by the United States of America president. But today we had a situation whereby the U.S. threatened to sanction Nigeria economically by reducing or stopping the aid given to Nigeria. I wish there may be actually time to discuss this aid, or we call what they would call foreign direct investment or foreign aids, or economic diplomacy or diplomacy for economic developments, where the U.S. trying to aid the country using right hands and trying to sabotage or steal or, by the way, create a situation of that is not actually.
All right, it appears we've lost Mr. Kabiru. Captain, can you see him on the platform? Big Sam, can you?
I'm looking for him.
He dropped. Yes. All right, let's pass the mic to Dr. Kenike and Dr. Jibril as well.
Hi, Mindset. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Well, I've listened to very brilliant people speak today, and I think it's very sad that we've gotten to where we are. And I think you asked a very interesting question when we're trying to remind us what you're discussing tonight. The question is, there is no Nigerian. Nobody. Right. That said, my only concern, and that's where I want to focus on, is that there appears to be a misconstruction of what's really going on. People don't really understand what's going to happen within the next few days. Even if Donald Trump doesn't send any boats to Nigeria or send planes or what have you, the damage is being done. I take investment law, right, and corporate finance in my classes. And I can tell you on Monday morning, most of these top firms around the world will sit down and discuss this particular statement that will be made by Donald Trump today. And they will ask themselves, wait a minute, guys. Are we ready to put in the funds for what we want to do? These things will be discussed. And when they discuss this thing, they're not discussing it to say, well, is it Muslim against Christians? They'll be discussing on the basis on what will be the impact of our investment in this country. But let me even shock you. The next few days is even going to be worse. American allies will begin to issue statements as well. So there's likelihood that within the next few days, Canada will make their own official statement, the UK will make their own official statement, and other countries as well. Now you then ask yourself, who are we not going to be addressing? Because I've listened to people, particularly Arewasos, talk about, oh, the American is this. You're chest-based bitching. In contract law, an average year one student will tell you that in contract, there's never equal bargaining power. Never. And so it is in politics and international politics as well. There's never an equal bargaining power. And the moment we realize this and play the card well, the better for us as a country. I mean, I was wondering, so the presidency can issue statements up and down. What have they been waiting for over the last 1 month? What have they been waiting for? You have to wait until people from outside speak, because when the people within your country speak, you turn it to politics or tribe. But you wouldn't speak. But you have a minister in Nigeria who will sit every month and call group of what they call them, journalists, and all he discusses are politics and insult to oppositions. I listened to the Minister of Foreign Information or Minister of Information on CNN some days ago. 7 minutes clip, just 7 minutes. 7 minutes on something as important as that. And to be honest, I was ashamed to say this was the Minister of Information for the country where I come from. A country where you have more people who are more savvy, people who understand international diplomacy. This is the man who is speaking on your behalf. I'll give you a very good example, right? You remember when the Gaza war started with Palestine and Iran was involved? You would realize that for every time they were sending people speaking on that issue, you would always realize that.
Which video are you people talking about?
Who had no knowledge of international politics.
Guy, Tracy, which video now they talk about?
Professor Shahid Mahmoud Marandi, that's his name. He was always speaking on behalf of Iran. He was on, you see him speak to Piers Morgan, you see him on CNN, you see him there. And even if you don't like the position of Iran, you will be, when he speaks, you want to wait him and say, wait a minute, let me have a look at what this guy is trying
I don't
to
know
say.
if you guys are aware.
Why? Because he understands the topic.
What's it called?
Nigeria, what do you have? Group of bunch people appointed based on whatever they brought to the political parties.
For you
People
guys.
who have no single idea on international diplomacy. The military coming or post coming to Nigeria is the least thing anybody should be worried about. You should be more worried about your economy. Because the gains we've made, I can assure you, those gains can be wiped off in less than 3 months. Why? Because that's what will come with it. Not just
Pete Hegseth. I think he's with the military. I'm not sure now, but apparently, so they're going to be looking into. He says that there's no place for Sharia law in a liberal society. Anyone supporting Sharia law in Nigeria is a fanatic. What is practiced in Nigeria? Okay, it was Ted Cruz that said it. So they want to look into Sharia law as well. Anyone supporting Sharia law in Nigeria is a fanatic. What is practiced in Nigeria is political Sharia, a system meant only for the poor.
You don't believe that? And you think this is gang up somewhere?
Okay.
The current president will want to have anything to do with what is going on. I think it's liberal.
Guy, leave Tracy alone.
And his background says the same.
That's Pete Hegseth.
But the truth is that he has allowed.
Okay, there's a video of him actually. Let me save that video so I can play it for you guys.
And the reason is simply because it's politics. So my
own advice to him is that this is an opportunity for you to do the right thing. On fire. It's on fire today. It's an opportunity for the president to come up and say, well, I think it's high time we speak. I was expecting, there's so many tears on the timeline.
That by today, that the president would send us technocrats, not people like Boala or Bayo Nonuga. This should be spokesperson for political affairs or domestic issues, not international issues. Nigeria has savvy and very smart people. I can say that to you any day. Right? Why don't you use these people? Why don't they speak on your behalf? Why don't they send your message to the people and say, this is what we're trying to do? Why rely on political jobbers to speak on your behalf? I remember when I spoke yesterday, I said, I'm hoping that this today or the next coming day that we don't have handles or, online, what we call them, whether influencers or whatever they are, speak in this light that they are speaking. And then people say, oh, send the American ambassador out of this, send this out of this. And I just smile. I'm like, you have no single idea of what you're talking about. You don't have an idea at all. Right. And I'm hoping that the president, within the next coming days, maybe Monday or Tuesday, that he would make a statement himself, not through anybody, for him to speak and say, listen, I understand this is going on. I understand the position of America. There is no need to be involved in any form of war. We're going to take the battle to these people. And just to show my cabinet, they are new this now. This is what we are doing. This is what they want to listen to. Not issuing a statement of 3 paragraphs. And then a spokesperson go and write there, FY for your information.
There's a breaking news from who?
Guys, do you think this is game? That is what the special advisor to the president
I'm telling you. Cheers have been oh my God. Cheers just a flow.
These guys think this is a joke.
There's overflooding on the street of Twitter.
You think this is what this is?
Oh my God.
People's life are...
Yeah, mostly from them. And the most, the fanatics, that's where it's coming from. Right. And the ones that want to be in the middle.
To score cheap political points. So I'm hoping and I'm praying that the president
Okay.
would look inward
Yeah.
and do away with
If
this
you have, if you see it before
who
me,
would
let me
spin
know.
everything to become politics and employ people who are not just experts, but people who would convey his message in the right manner, with decorum and with expertise and with knowledge-based explanations. This is my own expectation, but I can assure you, the Nigerian stock market or whatever you call them, whether it be foreign direct investment, be portfolio, would have a massive hit in the coming week. Not because the president is going to send anybody to Nigeria, no, but simply because the optics will be very, very wrong.
See this
and this is what is going to happen.
Murik to scam.
And I'm hoping that
Tinubu treated you well. They why betray him to Trump. Can you imagine the nonsense talk?
I look at this and say, what do we really need to do? Because people are actually dying. Whether Christians or Muslims, they are dying. And sometimes some of these people just speak. If you have family members who served in the army, I have people who served in the army. I'm from Benue. Practically any home, you will not find them be it in the army or in the police or in the armed forces. If you've lost people who go out and come back and they are no more, and today you care for their family, their children, then you know the impact of what this really, really is. It's not just about those who are dying. How about the armed forces or the soldiers, the military people who are also dying as well? Who cares for them? And then some people sit down somewhere and think this is APC or PDP or Labour or this is Igbo against Hausa or Yoruba. When what we are discussing is how your country would exist. And then I hear some people say, oh, it's going to be difficult for them to come. They tried it in where they didn't succeed. Oh, really? I'm sure you don't want to see that. The current man the current president of America, with all due respect to Trump, it's a man who believes in action. And you often hear them say, well, strength is what they're counting on. Meaning, well, the days of talking are over. And people saw it. I can assure you, if it was Biden or Kamala Harris that won, America would never have struck Iran. I mean, that was unthinkable for anybody. All the analysis would tell you, oh, they would not do it. But this man there doesn't think in this manner. And I want to believe that this is what we should do as a people. We should understand that. Fine. Because some lapses, people have died. We need to stop this bloodshed. And by the way, people say we don't want boots in Nigeria. How many times have the security agency said these people doing these things are foreigners?
Bam.
They're not boots in Nigeria already.
Oh, let me tell you.
Machineries. So what's the difference? You said these people are not Nigerian, they come from somewhere else. Are they not foreign boots already? So what is the difference? You can't catch them, you can't arrest them, you can't do anything. So thank you very much. I know mine say yes, I can see your hand. So finally, I want to say that while you express your view, be very, very mindful of the things you say. Because this space that you are in, they own this space. They see all these things. I can assure you. They see them. And so when you begin to make inflammatory statement,
welcome, Miss Omoye, welcome. Yeah, they had a month to act. Over a month. Ha! What a beg.
We're too small to take on the United States on all fronts, be it on economic, military, and anything.
We not reach.
So we must play our part right, and the president must wake up and do the right thing and ensure.
Ban Sharia, buy all those terrorists.
This is what I'm doing.
Hold all of them, all the top officials accountable.
It's not too hard to do, is it? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for your submission. I really like what you said when you make reference to the essay, the new media, to the president. And that's
which question? What was the question?
You see, the thing here is the government, I do not think that they realize what foreign policy is all about.
At all, they don't.
Somebody needs to go in there and help them out. And whoever that might be, please go and help them out. Because you don't, at this stage, put such comments out for your information, FYI.
I'm telling you.
Do you think you're dealing with...
Hey, God.
With respect, I mean, do you think you're dealing with one village somewhere? I'm not sure why someone in their right mind would actually put something
uneducated, very dumb people.
Senator Alindume. I will find the article and I'll post it here. Senator Alindume
exactly.
It appears that he was listening to every one of us on this platform.
Exactly, Mr. Morigi.
He called at the Senate saying, we did not handle this well. called them out. He said presidents did not handle this thing very well. And for a president that won't believe that they listened, or they're listening, they have listening ears, right? This thing happened. They made this information worth the essay to the new media will put out for your information, White House. And I mean, this is just too childish. You know, I'm hoping that they are listening, and I'm hoping that they will do something about it. But if there's any one of you on this
Guy, I
platform
not
who think
see
they
any
have what it takes
question. No,
to go and
sorry.
help them, please, they might need to hire you guys to go and help them because different.
Can you imagine?
Like Mr.
Abuala.
You don't know who's listening.
For serious
You
matter
two
like
guys
this.
listening on this platform, I will always tell you guys who is
And
listening, because
Ononuga
these
was
guys are
busy
listening to this
making
platform.
a fool of himself under
If
Ted
there's
Cruz's
anything I know,
tweet.
that's one thing I know, that these guys are listening to what is going on this platform. So thank you very much, sir. As I pass the mic to Mr. Kabiru. Kabiru, you have the mic, sir.
I'm telling you, Kyogene.
It's like he's having network issue.
Right, so
He's been a rock and a hard place. If you do am trouble, if you not do am trouble, either way he's effed.
Sorry, Henry, I can see you raise your hand, and Mr. Jibril, I can see yourself as well. Let's pass the mic to
on Twitter. So I actually posted it. Go to my post. I posted it, Guy Walele. He did it. I think it's on Truth Social. He did it, and then they circulated it on Twitter. There's a handle too that also carries his.
So I don't know why people say the president doesn't approve weapon sales. Congress approves weapon sales, and I'll give you a good example. During one of Trump's first term, the Congress did not approve weapon sales for Saudi Arabia because of the Leahy law when they were fighting Yemen. But Mike Pompeo used some kind of law that they have with Saudi Arabia and sold weapons to them. So Congress approved weapon sales. 2. Propaganda yields the unintended consequences.
Commentary Donald J. Trump posts from Trump. They share directly as well. So, but that one was from Truth Social.
The same thing they were shouting. Some of them wanted to take Ejirika to the ICJ. Now, America has a law called the Leahy law, that one strange law that states that if you are committed one useless, I'm not saying it's a law, they refuse to sell weapons still. So the same people who complained about genocide that
there
were some incidents in Baga, for those that remember. There was incidents in Bama, there was some kind of massacre that happened around there concerning the Nigerian army. So 1, 2. I don't support Trump, Tracy. But the reason why I'm more interested in this fight is that I've done some work concerning Agadez. Let's be honest with ourselves. The Sahel has fallen. The Sahel has fallen. If you go to Agadez is very close to Kano State. If you can look at it in Niger, it's Niger. That's the transporting route that people used to pass to go to Libya, go to Europe. If you go to those places, you will find out that terrorists have occupied vast majority of lands. So they have more than at least 100 terrorist groups paraded in that place. Who is going to solve that problem? The president of Niger can solve it. The president, whether it was Isifo, whether it's the current guy now, whether it is the president of Chad, they can't solve that problem. Nigeria cannot solve that problem. We have too many problems. One of the problems is actually, if you look at it, the ECOWAS solution. Now, what does that mean? It means that we can't really stop anybody coming from Niger to come into Nigeria because of they are members of ECOWAS. How do you solve that problem? They have tribal people. How do you solve that problem? So, my solution is simple annihilation with collateral damage. Those areas need to be taken out. And you can take them out through drones. When the Americans had their base in Niger, they were helping Nigeria with reconnaissance. So I don't see the big deal in what Trump said. I don't listen, but the Americans were helping us before. When they had their base in next door Niger, they were helping the French, they were helping Nigerian army with reconnaissance. And also, we need to point a picture at our establishment.
Boala go cry. Nothing they happen.
Air Force can simply get targets right. Whether it's a reconnaissance problem, whether it's poor, I don't know. The Nigerian Air Force was bombing civilians. They did it not once, not twice. It happened at least on 3 occasions when they were trying to hit Islamic targets. But whether we want to agree or not, We need support to fight the terrorists. The Nigerian army can't fight them. The Nigerian army, with due respect to our soldiers, cannot fight the terrorists. They can't fight them. We've done this for years. We hired mercenaries when I was with Goodluck. We hired all those people. We can't fight.
But the mercenaries were doing well. They were actually making progress.
It's called the Small Arms and Weapons Committee, which will be headed by a former DG of NIA called Ambassador Omoye from Edo State. They traced down, you see the work that they did, they traced down how weapons came from Libya, the fall of Libya, how weapons came from Ukraine, down to the Sahel, down to Niger, down to some part of Difa. And whether we want to admit it or not, these weapons are going to fall into the hands of jihadist terrorists. How do you fight this problem? I mean, people have proposed the solution. How do we create separate borders? This problem is deeply entrenched. Nigerian army can't solve it. They can't. We need some kind of support.
Oh, Nigeria. You see the way when Trump described Nigeria.
We need that support. The Chibok
He said now disgraced country. Oh!
Case is when I knew that.
Oh my God.
Nigeria is in big trouble. 2014. The then ambassador of CAR, his name is Roland Omoye. He's from Ondo State. He's been captain in the army.
Okay, Chiogana, you see him, man. Yes.
The girls that were kidnapped, they took them through Chad and they're in Central African Republic. And the question the military actually had, did they pass a big country like Chad? And the rumor was that they were speaking English. And the government of the day went behind closed doors, went to meet a man called Michel Dojotodiai, who used to be the president of the Balaka rebels. If you follow, for those that follow, not today's people, Balaka rebels was the anti-Balaka, and the Balaka was the crisis they had in Car with the Christians and the Muslims. This man was in Benin Republic on exile. They went to meet him.
I never feel argue with you, not true.
And he was just wanted money from Goodluck. So what am I trying to say? That some of these problems are complex, which is why on one side, in as much as I welcome support, I don't trust the support of the Americans because everything to the Americans is so simplistic. They don't understand certain differences. They don't understand nuance. They don't understand all these things. To Trump, this is just an issue of Muslim and Christians. It is much, much more complicated than that. So, but to him, everything is Christian and Muslim because it's the simple thing. He doesn't
Hey, Michael, don't land. Welcome, Michael. Greetings to you. You don't hear the latest? Check my post. Check my post for updates.
So sometimes you just have to listen to them, whether you like it or not. They have military bases in 80 countries. They can fight you from any place. So whether you agree with their methods or not, you just have to eat the humble pie and speak to them. So that's my only worry. So everybody should wake up and be just accept it. You're going to have some form of collateral damage.
Yep.
People will just have to die. I'm not encouraging it. But if you want them to come in, because they won't understand these things. In those places in Agadez, from Agadez to Kebbi to Sokoto, they've built, the terrorists have villages. People live there. People live in those places. Now, whether it's community, complacent sense, whether they are involved, I don't know. But where the terrorists live, there's their families, there are people going about their businesses, there are people living there. So how would they? So for these things to work, those people there would either have to leave or they'll suffer the collateral damage that is going to come with the strikes. America doesn't need to put boots on ground. I don't want to mention the boots on ground. The last time they did that in 2017, when they tried to rescue the missionary that came into Nigeria and was kidnapped into Niger, 4 or 7 Americans to just die. If you remember the story of one man that Trump told that his wife he paid the ultimate, So it's just too complicated. I hope that they understand what they're about to do, what they're about to get into. But whether it's inevitable, it's inevitable. There's no solution. I can't propose. My solution to this nihilistic is that every area, 100, 500 kilometers up Agadez, left, right, center, needs to be taken out. Those places are riddled with Islamists. Ungoverned area, thank you very much, Saddam. Ungovernable areas, this is not an issue of the Nigerian army cannot solve this problem. I'm sorry to those that have the army is overwhelmed we need some kind of support. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kenike. Barrister Henry, you raise your hand. Is there something that we need to address? If not, I'll pass the mic to those who has not contributed already.
Mindset, thank you. Just if you permit me, because there's a place this conversation is going to where I think it is important to draw a clarification, especially because not everybody on the space is Nigerian. There are so many people who are trying to make this conversation a Christian versus Muslim conversation. But it's important to draw this distinction because Muslims do not only exist in northern Nigeria. In Enugu State, they are Muslims. In Edo, they are Muslims. In southwest Nigeria, they are Muslims. But you would likely find that a huge chunk of the data shows persecution of Christians, especially in the north central. I say this because I want to give an example, and you permit me. I know how you run your space, and of course, I greatly commend you. But it's important to draw this distinction because, it's good to call a spade, given how existential Trump's threat could be. Yesterday on your space, when we were talking about this issue, I asked Ariwa a question, and I asked him, are Christians persecuted in Nigeria? He said, Nigerians are being persecuted. Then if you recall, hopefully the space was recorded, he said something about Islamization being a joke, that it was not possible. If you just check his tweets, you see where he clearly said that Islamization in Nigeria is well and truly alive. I had to even re-quote it. And I'm saying this because a lot of things are going on in the country right now. A lot of people think what the president is doing and what the Secretary of War, as it were, is doing. But these things have far-reaching ramifications. If you look at the bill that was proposed by Senator Ted Cruz, which of course most of us know it's a bill that was called the Nigerian Religious Freedom and Accountability Act. You'll find that I think it's somewhere in section 2 of the bill. It says, and if you permit me to read, it says, that's 2B, thereabout. I'll just paraphrase the part that I think are very important. It says, not later than 90 days after the date of the enactment of this act, and annually thereafter, the Secretary of State shall submit to the appropriate congressional committees a report listing Nigerian persons who are, this is where I'll just list a few of them. A, federal officials or state governors who have, during the period specified in paragraph 2, promoted, enacted, or maintained Nigerian blasphemy laws.
They are. I don't know where they are, Gawale. They don't go hide. This one passed them.
Enforcement directives. Somewhere further, he goes on to even list judges, magistrates, prison officials, or other judicial or law enforcement authorities who have, during the period specified in paragraph 2, enforced blasphemy laws, including through prosecution, conviction, imprisonment, or other deprivation of liberty.
CBD, don't mind them, Mr. CBD. You know Nigerians. The one where they their front, the one they never see sovereign. I beg you.
Private actors, for
not see anybody go for tell me again. No.
Direct criminal prosecution of blasphemy laws. So there are far-reaching implications. And if you look at the sanctions that can be imposed by the US president under the requisite executives, they go beyond even visa restrictions, even beyond economic restrictions. And of course, you know how some of these executive orders can be stretched, especially in times of emergency, to include, like Trump has insinuated, boots on the ground. So it is very important that we do not allow ourselves be derailed from the conversation of people who are minorities in certain areas who have documented clear-cut cases of structural and political persecution. Then on the other hand, we now have some people who are now saying, let's gloss over it, it matters not, and even going a step further to dare the US government. I say this because we must be very careful about the type of people who will give opportunity to speak about this, because the truth is, this issue affects you, it affects me just as it affects every other Nigerian. But if we don't manage it well, and this management is not only at the instance of the federal government is performing woefully, but we have a responsibility as Nigerians to ensure that the information that is going out there is not one that allows the general world to think that it is a Christian versus Muslim controversy. It has nothing to do with general Christians versus general Muslims. It's an issue of persecution. Persecution is clear-cut, documented bias, atrocities committed against a particular people solely because they align themselves or they profess or express a particular religion. Thank you, Vincent.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Henry. Adewa, I can see you raise your hand. Please, I'll come back to you. Let's allow Mr. Jibril to speak. Jibril, good morning. You have the mic, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Manset, for giving me the opportunity to speak. First of all, let me begin by responding to Harry in two of the places he spoke. In one of the places you spoke earlier, Harry, we agree in one of the places we share the same view, while in the other place we don't share the same view. And the first place I would like to counter you that we do not share same view is that what happened in Sokoto to Deborah is jungle justice, not that the victim was prosecuted through the normal trial process of Sharia law. You know, yes, there is Sharia law in practice in some places in Nigeria, but it is not compulsory on even practicing Muslims. It is when you get to choose yourself whether you want Sharia law to be used on you as a Muslim or not. I can give you an instance.
Here come the gaslighters.
If you go to Kano,
Sharia law, now they take person property for Abuja.
Is dominated majority by non-Muslims, and in that place, I've had a lot of cases whereby non-Muslims
I'm telling you, Tracy.
But then they will themselves take themselves to Sharia court for their cases to be settled. Since you are a lawyer, you can go and do your research whether this statement of mine is true or not. And the second place where we agree is that what is going on as insecurity in Nigeria
allowed to lie
no
in support of their religion.
To religion. Because all these people acting and killing people indiscriminately, they don't discriminate between Muslims and Christians. What happened recently in Katsina State? Worshippers were killed. We are all aware of what's going on in Zamfara. They are all Muslims. Muslims are being killed. What's happening in Sokoto? Muslims are being killed. And so many other places. They don't discriminate. And do you know that one of the bandits was ever caught and he was asked to even recite a verse from the Quran, which a 1-year-old boy, a 1-year-old baby can read. He couldn't read any part of the Quran. They are illiterate because they are living in the bush.
Okay.
This is why yesterday when I came here, although I was unprepared, I said that our biggest problem, number one problem, is illiteracy. If we are unable to address the issue of this illiteracy, educate people, show them what is what, show them the Western education, teach them the normal teaching, their religious teaching they want to learn, teach them. That's the only way we are going to do away with all of this. If not, we are in big trouble and it will continue to remain. And let me go to my next point. You see, Kenike, I want to address you also. Kano has no border connection with Niger Republic in no way. If you are from Kano, you want to go to Niger, you will have to pass through Katsina State or Jigawa State. These are the states through which someone from Kano can go to Niger Republic. So there is nothing like a terrorist campaign in between the border between Kano and Niger. Kano is not a border state. And then I would like to speak on the issue that we should be careful. Mine said you said this. Well, you are right. We should be careful with our utterances. But then, what is freedom of speech if we cannot voice out whatever is in our mind? It's all about perspective, perception. We all did psychology one way or the other. Mindset. This is psychology.
But why are they not crying and calling it out? Why have they not been crying and calling it out?
Any one of us here should
It's the problem.
Like,
when you see evil, you call them out.
Is in his or her mind.
Even if not be Muslims, but I mean, they are killing people.
Sorry, I apologize. I need to come in here because I don't know why. I don't like it when people misquote me. I'm not sure what you mean by people saying their mind. I've not stopped anybody by saying their mind. Hold your thought for a minute. One thing one minute, please. May I speak? May I address you, please? It's very important. Thank you. Now, I've not stopped anybody by speaking their mind. I've always warn people, let's be very mindful of the choice of words we use, right? I've not asked you not to speak your mind. Okay, and then another thing I always say on this platform is I don't like name callings. So you misquoting what I said, I do not take that lightly. So we have to be very, very mindful as well before you misquote me. Thank you.
Okay. And I don't see anything bad in the way the NSA choose to reply the
of
US.
Course, you won't.
You see, he's an government official of a sovereign country, independent nation. So that's the way he chooses to reply. They threaten us as a nation with invasion. Why would he talk to them in a soft manner? That will be a show of sign if he chooses that path. This is my opinion and perspective. And then, with regards to the insecurity, if these people truly want to help us, why not come and sit down with our government? Yes, to me, I still hold this perspective that if this public call on the Nigerian government will make them wake up, mobilize troops and all the equipment that are required to flush out all the kinds of peddlers of insecurities all over the country, be it whether Muslim, Christian, Hausa, Yoruba, let them flush them out. I will support that. But them threatening to invade Nigeria, threatening to act, in what way? We are an independent nation. And you see, from my own perspective, I think these people are trying to observe that Nigeria is trying to become a nation. Look at our foreign reserve now. Look at Dangote that is investing in the oil sector. He's trying to build the largest refinery. He's expanding his. So you know what energy is. If now Nigeria is hosting the largest energy processing plant, just think about the investment flow that will come to Nigeria and how the image of Nigeria will grow. Do you understand? And there is this point I want to say. The federal government, it's over 2 years since this government settled, and yet there are no ambassadors. Had it been there are ambassadors appointed representing Nigeria in various countries, I think this issue would have been solved, would have been communicated through the right channel without causing, like some people now from other countries, they might really be thinking that war is going on in Nigeria. Yes, we are having insecurity, but it's not like war, missiles, blah, blah, blah. So it's totally unfortunate that all our issues are not being addressed. Like the Sahel, the West Africa, we have common forces, we have the MNJTF, remember during the heydays of the Boko Haram. So all these forces, it seems like we are still not united as a region. This is why regional integration is very important. This is why our government, this government, to be honest, they need to invite technocrats, as someone said it here earlier, to be part of the government so that they can chart better courses and improve the existing ones on how to make Nigeria be safe and be friendly for anybody living in it, and even outsiders. And I think it's totally bad for any foreign country to try to intervene in any independent nation. You can offer advice, you can do transfer of technology and what have you in terms of partnership. But trying to invade, bring goods, it's totally bad. And jungle justice should stop in Nigeria because it doesn't used to augur well. And then the narrative will be changed, this, that. Those people that did that in Sokoto, it's not their duty. They are not the judges. They shouldn't have done that because it's jungle justice. And likewise, the Harira case, the General Alkali case, the Hunters case in Edo, we can all remember these things. We don't want to be even recalling because it brings us pain. We've lost loved ones, people we might not know, our colleagues might have known, their relatives, so it's very bad. To me, I'm saying this, I've never had a gunshot in my life, and I'm living in Nigeria, and I'm not bragging. So all we are promoting is peace. Let there be peace, let there be progress, let there be unity, and let the government focus on educating people because there is a lot of illiteracy. Illiteracy is too much in this country. Thank you very much. This is the little I will say for now.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Jibril, for your submission. So please, next time, before you quote somebody, make sure you heard what the person said before you respond, because I listened to you. You talked about NSA. I never mentioned NSA. If you go on the Jumbotron there, this is the person I'm making reference to. That is Dada Olusegun. So I'm not sure how you heard NS say what NS said was right or wrong. If you think that the government have responded in a good manner, that's okay. I do not have a problem with that. But what I reference, look, if you go there, can you see it? This is a spokesperson essay to the president on media. Look at what he said, FYI at the White House. If you think that's the right way to respond to the United States and you feel comfortable about it as a Nigerian, that's okay. I do not have a problem. But next time, please do not misquote me. As I pass the mic to AA, you have the mic. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Mindset. Good morning, everyone. It's been a interesting conversation. People have spoken well, and I don't think I'll say so much, but I just wanted to add a few perspectives. And one, I think from all of this, one thing that continues to bother me about this very development is the way that Nigerians are responding to it, especially Nigerians who find themselves in the religion of Islam, or should I say people in the north. There's a bit of a reaction as if that this is an indictment on the Muslim population of Nigeria. And I know this thing goes back to the way that Nigeria is set up. There is this we and them, syndrome that is seared in the Nigerian DNA. So you will always see something happen, they see it from the lens of Igbo against Yoruba, North against South, Christians against Muslims. This thing has nothing to do with the Muslim population. It's talking about, the US is talking about a population in Nigeria, Christian population, being persecuted by extremist elements in Islam who claim to be wanting to advance Islam. That's all. It has nothing to do with the Muslim population. And then the argument that everyone in Nigeria is, Muslims are being persecuted and Christians are being persecuted. And that's either a simplistic argument or an argument that is coming from a place of being disingenuous. The point is, is there a population, a Christian population in Nigeria who face persecution, atrocities, because they identify as Christians? So there are many facets of crime and atrocity in Nigeria. People agree that in the southeast there is problem that is linked somehow to the Biafra struggle. You accept that as a facet of insecurity. But then you don't want to accept that people in the Middle Belt are targeted because they are Christians.
Exactly.
We have seen them face violence on important days in the Christian faith. Last Christmas, a number of them were targeted. One of the most important and unique days in the Christian faith. You do that both physical and cultural and spiritual terrorism against them, and then people come out and say that Christians are facing persecution and Muslims are facing. They are not. That's not the point. There are different types of crime in Nigeria, but one of them is persecution against Christians of the Middle Belt. Anyone who tries to deny that is just trying to deceive themselves. But then the next point that I also wanted to touch on is the threat by Trump itself. It's unsettling to me because, knowing Trump, you don't know where he's coming from. He's decidedly unpredictable. He likes to do that. You don't know if, he's a president who ran on the basis that he doesn't want to continue the old American style of nation building or trying to be,
the world savior
around the world.
Yeah.
But then you also know that when he says something, sometimes he would like to follow through. So you don't know. I don't know if is this threat is just to put pressure on Nigeria, or there is something that they know and that they have planned, but they are only just telegraphing where they are going. I just don't know, but it's really unsettling to me because if that happens, American intervention has always come with a cost. not just human cost, but socio-political aftershocks in the last years. I don't know, it could be a surgical operation that they want to do, a surgical military operation that just move in and go out. But then I don't know what it will take. But whichever way, even if it doesn't happen, the damage has been done to Nigeria. I mean, I'm in a sector where I advise, international investors, and I can tell you that, you expect is that American allies are going to follow suit within the next coming days. Then in places where people write reports on country risk and political risk, Nigeria is now, is rising. Investors are going to be asking themselves, there's a huge political risk and problems in Nigeria. Already, my friends are already calling me and saying this is what they're hearing about Nigeria, what is happening. So it's a problem. And then that takes us to the last point I want to talk about. The cause of this is incompetent government leadership.
Exactly.
Whether we believe it or not. Yep. I'm sorry, I could sound very direct, but
it is.
In Aso Rock, there's no one home.
No leadership.
No one home, no adult at home. The thing is, what does this CPC mean, country of particular concern? It just means that, let's not forget, what it means is that the Nigerian government has not, done enough to stop persecution against Christians, or has enabled it. I don't think that they have enabled, but
they have enabled it.
When we say that the president is incompetent, people think we have a president who is not visible. He's been in the office 2 years.
Yep.
Christians have been killed, including on Christmas Eve. No one has seen them visit them.
At all.
Right now, if he was a visible and outgoing president, an international media outfit could be interviewing him so that he can defend Nigeria or the position of
his country. Ask,
2 years in governance, he's not faced any structured interview other than what he calls presidential media chat, the joke that they do in Abuja. He has not faced any structured questioning from any journalists around the world. When this thing happened, it came from Ted Cruz, who they know represent Texas, and that it's the largest population of Nigeria in the US are in Houston.
Yep.
And some of them are his constituents, probably putting pressure on him.
Yep.
Smart people would have known that this is going to be serious. Instead of sending people who would go and talk and the president can, be more visible, go out, they decided to send jokers like Rene Omokri and Buala. This shows is that the president we have is a capacity problem. I think he lacks the capacity. One, he is not visible. He should be moving around, going out to visit these people, talk about, we need to have a president that is visible. He acts more like a royal, like a symbol of authority, rather than just being someone who is there to serve. So, would he change tomorrow?
Nope.
I don't think so. But if they can change some kind of posture or outlook as a government and as a regime, probably this will pressure them to do that. But to see Tinubu come out and do what a leader, an Obasanjo would do, a real leader, move out, move around, travel around the world for serious things, not going to France on, face the media, ask questions, put forward your own position and your difficulty, talk about what Nigeria is facing. Has anyone seen your president in 2 years face structured questioning?
Nope.
Never. Has he visited these people? Never. Have you seen him visit the military?
Never.
In the front?
Never.
Have you seen him? No. Everything is about politics, defection to APC, just acting like royalty. That's not what it means to be a president or commander-in-chief, especially a country that is facing problem of, insecurity and that is fragile. So I don't know where this will take us, but as Nigerians will continue to pray that they handle it. But for sure, I don't want military intervention in Nigeria, I don't think it will end well. Back to you, myself.
You don't have a choice, so
thank you very much for your submission. I would then pass the mic to Beloved. I can see your long leg. I can see everyone. So please let's allow Beloved of God to speak. Good morning, sir.
All right. Good morning, Mindset, for giving me the opportunity to speak, and good morning, everyone. The question with the whole situation in Nigeria is a very delicate one, and whilst I would not want to, sound too blunt, I think religion has a very major role to play in the issues we're facing in Nigeria. Nigeria is a very unique nation, right? I think apart from few nations like Eritrea, Lebanon, we are the only nation with probably 50-50 Muslim Christian population, and it's not an easy thing. Ideology, when it comes to living together with people of different views, especially views that can tend to be extreme, like that of Islam, it's not an easy thing. Yeah. So someone was talking about illiteracy. I think that was the problem. That was even how the problem started, because the idea was these guys were just illiterates, mere illiterates, not knowing that these people have sponsors. These guys are very, very. We are just seeing the tip of like an iceberg. The leader of ISIS, the late Baghdadi, he had a PhD in Islamic studies. He was a guru in the religion. He's very vast in knowledge. So we cannot just throw this out as ignorance. We have a very strong, very determined terrorist group. And this is it. The question is there a Christian genocide in Nigeria? If I just look at the rough definition of genocide, which would be like the intent to destroy in part or in whole a particular group of people, or probably people that identify as a particular group of people, or maybe members of a religious society or something of that sort. I would say that yes.
Oh my God. I don't want to charge this thing. Una go listen to her like that when the device give up. That means say we go end am by be that too, because my device is really, really acting weird. I don't know what's going on.
By the way, but I was worshiping in the church when our priest in the First Baptist Church, the pastor told us to up the gen and just hide ourselves somewhere because the Muslims were coming. Because the Muslims were coming. So
Yep, you see, Mr. Isenbidi, exactly.
It appears we've lost Beloved.
No, I'm here. So the idea was that because the Muslims were coming, right? So God so being kind, we passed through that situation. But I just want to respect those in the house, right? To respect the time. We had a case. We saw how Deborah was killed. We saw how the Imam of the National Mosque, the Imam of the National Mosque, how he supported that action with his Twitter quotes. We also see that Leah Sharif is still currently being here. She's still currently in custody by the Boko Haram terrorists. The last authentic report we had of her, she has 2 sons already. She's a victim of abuse in the Boko Haram den. We have the Abuja evangelist that was killed. We have different situations. We cannot just lie to ourselves that the Christians in these areas are facing serious persecutions, as some would call it, I would call it targeted cleansing, because I know what I saw. I have seen churches being burnt, being targeted. It's a target. It's not like something that is done, randomly. It's a target. So what we've been hearing, anytime this thing gains any little bit of attention, we start hearing people say, "Oh, but they kill other people, but they kill Muslims, but they kill this one, but they do this," and just like you start wondering, like, these voices won't be heard when the Christians are being killed or when they are being massacred. No, but when people start talking about it, the first thing we hear from those same persons that remain silent would be, these guys have been killing Muslims too. Can you bring the records? Yeah, they have been killing Muslims. But was it targeted? Even if it was targeted, let the Muslims complain and let them lay their complaints and let them bring it out. But we are saying that the Islamic extremist group, Boko Haram, and their cohorts are targeting Christians in the northernmost parts of the country and the Middle Belt. And this is fact. There are situations to cover the whole story. It is fact. The Nigerian government, I've heard people speak and I really respect their opinion, but I wonder, is the Nigerian government really interested in this matter because the US is now being involved? When your citizens are dying, like people are being killed in their thousands, and you're not serious about it. You don't see these lives as anything. It doesn't amount to anything, because in the black society, the masses means nothing. Only those in the top echelon, they're the ones that mean something. The guy in the street means nothing.
I gotta read this one for now. Former Trump advisor,
so everyone is now
Dr. Walid Perez.
Everyone is now speaking. Why?
Okay. Let me turn this down a little bit first. He says, if the federal government of Nigeria is unable to fight and defeat armed and genocidal jihadism to protect the Christian people of Nigeria as it failed to protect the Muslim communities in the north, the only remaining option is to save lives and stop genocide is to grant Nigeria's Christian South its right for self-determination and assist the Muslim North in defeating Boko Haram and the other jihadists, one or the other, but leaving millions of people without protection is not an option. This was 3 hours ago. Let me share this on mine. Let me take this up.
In Gaza, when it goes to university and all, we try to push that agenda of genocide going on in Sudan and Nigeria. But the interview with Biumaha is an atheist. Biumaha really pushed that view outwardly, and it started gaining traction. At some point, people started talking about it. So even one of my American friends had to, send a link to me and told me.
Sorry, Mr. Beloved, I'm gonna stop you here for a minute, please.
Okay.
Please, can you move to your mic for a minute, sir? So what you're discussing here, we have discussed this whole thing about 6 or 7 times already.
Exactly.
How this whole thing started, right? Now, we know what the problem is. We know how it started. We have discussed it on this platform. The topic we are discussing right now, Trump threatens military action in Nigeria.
That's it.
Please, the next speaker, whoever that might be, let's just
they
stick
talk
to
with it, they're not supposed to talk. I don't know.
Which we have discussed already. Let's leave it by this side and focus on this.
I'm telling you, Michael. Hey, Tracy. I don't pull up the tweet, Seth. I don't save them. I go share them now for my existing.
Mr. Beloved, please, you can conclude. Thank you. I'm not able to hear him. Can anybody hear him?
No, he's not speaking.
All right, thank you. So he's no longer, is he still on the platform?
Yes, he's still.
Okay, he's here. His mic is on, but he's not responding. So on that note, let's quickly pass the mic to Ariwa. Ariwa, you have the mic, sir.
Thank you, Marcel.
I actually want to start by responding to what the last speaker said regarding extremism among Muslims. The idea that this is just an exclusive case of, or is a generalization that is an extremist view has to do with Islam as a religion, it's false. Because when you look at the trajectory that this thing started from, right from when Al-Qaeda came about, it played along for a while, it shifted into ISIS. ISIS expanded to become Boko Haram. Boko Haram now ISWAP and what have you. So these guys are characters, and I will keep saying that these guys are not Muslim. Islam is clear. It's not even something that you need to worry about. It's very, very. These guys are playing character because this is how the world have portrayed terrorists or people who have found themselves in a situation whereby they just destabilize things. Right from as Al-Qaeda was gaining momentum because it's an Iraqi thing and it's majority Muslims.
I've posted it to Mona go check out.
I played that card for a while, expanded to Boko Haram. This is the team that we are talking about. So it's not an issue now. And then I'll go ahead and address what Harry said. You know, there's this problem that we've had in Nigeria of generalizing, especially Northerners. You know, they see Northerners as people who are not capable of rational thinking or thinking on their own. It's like the view of one person in North just accumulates the thoughts of every other person, to the extent that Harry went ahead and quoted a totally different person just because we happen to be good Northerners, a totally different person that I barely agree with on any topic, and said that this is my own view on Islamization of Nigeria. I don't even know how that came about, but somebody entirely different tweeted that Islamization is alive, and because he's a Northerner and I happen to be a Northerner too, and he just categorized it as it's me speaking. So you see, there's this ideology about how people portray Northerners, and when we are trying to
welcome,
things, people just assume, no, you guys are all, you should just go.
It's not today.
Like that. Ideologies here are different, and I keep saying it. Islamization of Nigeria is not possible. Where does that word even came from? Islamization. How do you even intend to go about it? What part of Islam will rule? You don't even understand the internal fracas Muslims are facing with issues of Izala, Tariqa, Sufi, and what have you. There are people who are Muslims here in this Nigeria that don't even recognize the Sultan of Sokoto as an emir, or they don't. Sarkin Musulmai, that's what we call him. They don't even recognize him as that. So what section of the current Islamic problem we have? You can see here we have what do you even call them, the Shia and what have you. It's an issue. Yes, myself, I can see you raising your hand. It's an issue that is not possible. It's not going to happen. So when people say things like this, it's just to fuel and separate people further. But it's a dead on arrival situation. I yield myself.
Okay, thank you very much, Ariwa, and you responded to him. Please, guys, can we go back to this topic?
Yeah, that's what it looks like they're planning to do. No funding. Now to enter by themselves. They won't even cut the small one when they did. They won't even cut all the many funding.
What impact do you think this will have? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? We don't need these guys to come to Nigeria. I think that's what the conversation should be all about.
Exactly.
Right?
Not be all the story when people they talk. Distraction.
Only if it's very important that you need to speak. If not, I would like to pass the mic to Savik.
Oh, mine's not long at all.
Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to the topic, as you've stated, about, the possibility of military action. And on one hand, I'm thinking of the number of people who have died, and the number of people who have actually been displaced and are in camps without any basic amenities. We've got over 3.5 million Nigerians in a IDP camp, and yet you would have me believe we're not at war. Do I feel like America's the right person? Oh, is the right country to do it? Hell, our government's doing nothing.
Exactly.
As at 2014, the fourth most dangerous terrorist group was Fulani headsmen.
Yep.
And people can argue it here and there, right? This isn't about politics. In actual fact, it's not even really about religion, because it's the impact that we need to focus on. Are people dying? Yes.
Yes.
Are they dying on a daily? I'm sure somewhere, because the government, just like that gentleman, was minimizing what has happened. And, I do wonder, what kind of cognitive dissonance is this? Or do you know that you're just saying that because you feel, they're attacking the Nigerian government, we should be holding the government accountable. And it would be very important to see which steps the government takes over the next week or so, right? Because Trump is a loose cannon. He won't even tell anybody. He would do it. Yep. And the other concern is the impression that going on that list was wrong. I know from when it was on the list before, the amount of data. They want names of people, right? They want photographic evidence. They go to great lengths to gather that information before they make
they
that
have
determination.
Even security
So
intelligence that is better than our own.
It's wrong, we don't have that issue, blah, blah, blah. And finally, as I know that I'm taking up some time, the gentleman talked about freedom of speech. However, in that same context, right, we have blasphemy laws, right? The problem, I put somebody on the Jumbotron, I think her name is Rhoda, and I remember her sin, right, was showing the video of Deborah and hoping that she will find justice. They threw her in prison, a nursing mother, and charged her with blasphemy. Now, if she can't, that statement she made, right, how is that? What did she blaspheme? Right?
There's even a man, the farmer that defended himself, they sentenced him to unalive. They sentenced him to unalive.
Likewise, people who are experiencing
who's going to speak for him? How are they going to save him?
As well. And so the final thing was about Deborah. He said, it was done with justice. So are you telling me that if she had been tried in a Sharia court and had been found guilty and sentenced to death, are you telling me that that's going to happen? If the answer is yes, then all you're upset about is the process, the outcome you're happy with anyway, and that tells us a lot about who you are. Thank you, I yield.
All right, thank you very much, Bolande, for your submission. Savik, Trump has threatened to bring the American military to Nigeria if nothing happens in the next coming days. What is your take on it, sir?
Myself, thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm afraid the decision has been taken myself. I think for context, we need to understand that this whole diplomacy and lobbying and pressure groups, reaching out to Washington, it didn't start today. It's been a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time. So people need to understand that for the President of the United States to start tweeting like this and making statements like this, he has all the whole data, he has all the whole intelligence. It's been something they've been going through. And if you look at the chain of events, once he made that statement, you saw Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, latch onto that statement. And then today you are seeing the Secretary of War latching onto that statement. So this whole thing is not coming from a vacuum. People need to understand this. Unfortunately, mindset, the ramification or the consequences that is going to come after this, I don't know. I can't quantify it, but I know it's not good for Nigeria.
At all.
Right? Is it the best thing to do? It's debatable to know whether it's going to be good or right. But the thing is that for me to stand here today and tell you what that implication is going to be, we can't quantify it, but that decision has been made, right?
And I think Barrister AA made some valid points I need to reiterate. The problem has been that this government of Nigeria has been complicit, right? They have been complicit. They have been denying this stuff for over 2 years, or even before, even prior to Tinubu's administration. They've been denying it. But unfortunately for them, the person that is in the White House right now is someone that can no longer put forward with their denial.
Bam.
So they've been complicit with it. So the truth, what we should be asking ourselves is that even though that I don't support APC politically, everybody knows that, they should have gotten something better, knowing fully well that if the rain falls in Nigeria, it's going to fall on both APC, PDP, Labour, whoever.
When they have only dons, how will they? They don't have. Right. They don't have smart people now.
Kept on living in
dons,
denial. They've kept on living in denial. The reason is that most of them, our politicians, are complicit in what is going on.
Yep.
So how do you solve it? How do you think that someone that is complicit in what is going on is going to solve the problem? They can't solve it. And mindset. Let me take you back to the memory lane. Nigeria is a country that is highly religious intolerant. Let's not even kid ourselves to say, okay, we live together, Nigeria is a country that is highly religiously intolerant. We don't tolerate ourselves in terms once it comes to religion. That's why a Tinubu administration can fly a Muslim ticket in a 50-50 split country. That is the reason.
Even among the Christians, they're not the corporate.
To massage all this whole thing and try to cover it up. That is a simple truth. We are a highly intolerant people in terms of religion.
Absolutely.
And the actually, where this whole thing started was in 2000, right? When a certain state in the country implemented a Sharia law. In a secular state, we have a constitution that is saying that everybody is free to practice any religion that he wants to practice. Some people in the northern state of the country went and implemented a Sharia law. That gave birth to what we are seeing today as the religious intolerance that is heavily in the north. It gave birth to Boko Haram. It gave birth to all these subsequent terror groups that are coming.
People here, there's a latest terror group in town.
We don't know what is going on in Nigeria.
Al-Qaeda has entered Nigeria. The recent one as of today.
He couldn't. That's actually what gave birth to all these things we're talking about.
Yep.
The Sharia law implementation in Nigeria by Zamfara State that spread across, I think it's about 7 states now in the north that are practicing Sharia law in a secular state like Nigeria. Our constitution says that Nigeria is a secular state. Everybody is free to live in any part of the country and worship in any religion that they want to worship. Why would some certain places in the north be practicing Sharia law that is not in our constitution? So tell me, which one comes first? Sharia constitution or Nigerian constitution? That's the problem. That's the point of the control. So when people are saying that, Ted Cruz, the law he's trying to implement in the US, the bill he's trying to pass, this is the genesis of the problem. And we have seen people going to the Supreme Court to argue against or for blasphemy laws. We've seen people executed. We've seen people tried in Sharia courts. Where we have, under our constitution, there is nothing like that. There's nothing like a Sharia constitution in Nigerian constitution. These are the basics.
Abiola had not clean too.
They know what they are doing.
Abiola had not clean. He would not have been any better.
Nigeria is a secular state. We've known that it's a 50-50 split. So religious dominance and intolerance is 100% existent in Nigeria. Let's not deny it. So the question you're asking, what Trump has, everybody knows that this whole thing, there's been a lot of people lobbying for this. There's been a lot of activists pushing for it. When AA said that, I don't know if it's AA or someone that made that comment, when Ted Cruz started flying this thing, what did our government do? Most of them started cussing him around, telling him that because they paid him $7,000 and some other people, that's why they are pushing this whole thing. You fail to understand that Cruz is a key senator in the United States representing Texas.
They did not.
And Texas has like the highest number of Nigerians living in Houston, living in Dallas. So he has to listen to his, that's why he went, and the Cruz has taken time to actually do the due diligence and all, he has all the data. He took time. If you're following him, if you read his pages, you know that he has all the intelligence. So when people are saying, oh, they are not in Nigeria, they don't have, do you know the amount of people that are bringing the information to the United that are living even in Benue, in Plateau, in Niger, in Kaduna, they have all the information they need to make the determination. So let's stop kidding ourselves.
We don't have more than we have.
The government is highly incompetent.
Yes.
They didn't address it well. Right? I don't support them, but the thing is that the government of the day, they should have managed this well. They should have managed this well. Because they know the kind of person that Trump is. Trump waited all this while to get all the whole evidence, get all the whole facts before he can act. I don't know how this whole thing is going to pan out, but I think we are not in a good place right now. Thank you, Mindset.
Thank you very much, Sadiq, for your submission. Before Natasha, I can see you raising your hand, but I will come back to you. Let's allow Abu Mujahid. I think I pronounced your name.
Buala don't drop a tweet.
Abu Mujahid.
May I read that for now? He said both President T-Pain and Donald Trump have shared interest in the fight against insurgency and all forms of terrorism against humanity. President Trump has assisted Nigeria a lot by authorizing the sale of arms to Nigeria, and President T-Pain has adequately utilized the opportunity in the fight against terrorism. Oh, so they don't collect. So most of those weapons definitely ended up with terrorists, for which we have massive results to show for it. Lies. As for the difference as to whether terrorists in Nigeria target only Christians or in fact all faiths and no faith, the differences, if they exist, will be discussed and resolved by the two leaders when they meet in the coming days. So T-Pain, they go meet them or more. Make Trump abuse am. I want me give a nickname as he take give Buhari, either in the State House or White House.
We have people that have these extremist beliefs, extremist views about religion. We have radical. I'm a Muslim, but I'll say it as it is. We have radical Muslims here in the north that while growing up, they have been, should I say, more of being brainwashed, or should I say they have been fed, they have this enmity towards people of the other faith. Whenever they hear a case of maybe blasphemy, they don't want to know if the person has been accused, if it is true or not. Should I say maybe they are bloodthirsty? They feel like to kill is not something that they see as a big thing. You understand? Though they might, if killing is not even mainly if that person is a Christian. We have seen cases whereby even their fellow Muslims, they have been accused of blasphemy. They don't even want to know if it is true or not. They just plunge into violence by killing. You get? So, but the thing is, I don't really want to believe that there is, like, the attack is targeted to a particular religion. In the north here, tomorrow is, today is Sunday. By the time, we're in the morning, we see Christians going to church. Before coming here to the north here, if I was being told that, Christians can be going for service on Sunday without anybody stopping them, due to what we have been hearing when I was in the south, I'll be like, they lie. But when I came here, I see Christians doing their thing, going to their churches without anybody stopping them from doing. I'm in Bauchi, and we have in the metropolis, we have big churches, people going to services, coming back without. I haven't heard of any case of where maybe they are being attacked or something. You see, like I said, the issue is a little bit complex, and I don't want us to believe that even the Christians themselves in the Middle Belt are saints. We have the aggressors among them also. As a Muslim, I can tell you for a fact that there are places in Jos, in Plateau State, that you can't step your foot. As a Muslim,
I'm telling you, Tracy, that would be a sweet one.
Even as a Muslim, like whenever I'm traveling from the south to the north, whenever we're in Jos,
that's another thing, Kenny. You are right about that. We'll see how it goes.
As a Muslim, I'm not safe in this place. So please, we shouldn't allow media to paint a narrative that is
let
not
me
happening.
Tweet out. I want to tweet to Donald Trump. I beg.
To come
so
when we know that these people coming have their own motive.
I know I not get plenty followers, but I will do my best.
They're incompetent, which we know they're incompetent. The current government there, who are those that put them there? It's not the same people that are coming that they want to come and save us. So please, we should be able to read in between the lines. Fine, they are killing the Christians, they are killing the Muslims, and you can't tell me that if, as long as Muslims are dying also, it shows that this violence is not targeted to a particular religion. That of the Middle Belt is more of attack you, attack me, attack you. The Christians will attack today. After some time, the Fulani people will attack back. You kill me now, I kill you back. You kill me now, I kill you back. It's not that maybe it is targeted. We have seen cases whereby even in the same Jos, whereby you see traveling motor going, and the Just Not guys will stop the vehicle and kill all of them. So many that we have seen. So please, we shouldn't push narratives that would destroy our country. The people we should hold accountable are the people who put in power, which is our government. They should be able to step on their toes and clear up this mess once they should clear up this mess, and everything should go back to normal. But the thing is, I will keep saying it, the Muslim clerics too in the north here are not helping matters. They preach radical beliefs, extremist views, and these are things that grew up. I think that these children grew up with, for them to have this belief that no, like my religion is superior than yours, my this thing is superior than yours. I can like, they feel like they don't want to associate themselves to other faiths. We are even seeing those in government now that maybe they have supported case of maybe jungle justice, case of maybe I don't know, but the thing is, the situation is complex. I'm a Muslim, and I'll keep saying it. My religion does not support violence. I'm a Yoruba Muslim. It does not support killing the other faith. Because if I should even go back to how we're being brought up, we're brought up to live in peace with the other faith. It's when I come here, I see that we have community whereby it's a Muslim community, we have community whereby it's a Christian community. Just because of crisis upon crisis. And most times this crisis is not even most about religion. Most times it might be arguments between two people from different religion. And before you know, to spark up into religious tension.
Tracy say you take native doctors with them.
I don't think allowing a foreign body into our nation at this point is the best solution. Are you the mic?
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Abu Mujahid. I think I pronounced your name properly for your submission. Please, let's be very mindful of time. Yesterday, you guys get on my nerves, and I don't want to. I'm feeling sleepy already, so let's just keep it very short. Then we can carry other people along. Akin, I can see you raise your hand. Please, let's allow Natasha to speak.
I'm telling you, Michael.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. So, a couple of people have kind of like shared my thoughts already. I would say, Sir Vic spoke to my thoughts 1000%. as well as Bolanle spoke to my thoughts 1000%. In terms of Trump threatens military action in Nigeria, right?
Exactly.
My question is,
second
if
class to
the
them.
Muslim
Yep.
says like, okay, we're experiencing the same attack
Yeah,
from
Kene.
these people.
You know they're allowed to
Christians are
lie
saying
for
we're
the sake of
experiencing
their
the same
religion.
attack from these people. So what's the problem with what the US is trying to do?
Let me ask them one thing.
My thing is, what is the problem with what Trump is tweeting? Why we bringing it like the whole it's against Muslims? Is it like why are we like why are you feeling attacked? No one is talking to you if you're feeling like, okay, the Muslims are getting attacked, so then let these people like wake our government up, because our government, they're sleeping.
Yep.
It's obvious that the president is sleeping.
Yep.
It's obvious that the politicians are in cahoots with whatever is going on.
Yep.
And they don't care about me and you.
Yep.
So why are you worried? Or why are you why are you feeling like someone is at you? Like the president of the United States is basically just waking people up that are sleeping. So I don't understand why some people are feeling attacked or feeling like their religion is being attacked. And sometimes you hear like Nigerians talk about, oh, like if the United States come, they want to come and steal this, steal that. Is like, okay, what are they stealing that our politicians are not stealing already? You know, like I have I would say I have more of questions than answers, you know, like what are they stealing? Why are you feeling attacked? Like they're just waking our government up. Let them do that. These people have facts. They're not just coming to talk because they want to talk. They have done their homework. They have done their researches. They have people that have done, like they have gone door to door. What your government is not doing for you, bro. Like your government doesn't care about you. Or rather, they don't care about us. So why are we feeling attacked? We should hold our hands, like Christians, Muslims. Let's hold our hands while these people wake our government up, while they ask them questions for us. Questions need to be asked. 2014, our sitting president tweeted about Christians getting killed. Also, Muslims are getting killed too. That's a fact. But now people are asking them questions and we're all feeling kind of like attacked. The whole thing is a big gaslighting. We should not let anybody divide us. Right now, what they're coming to do, okay, that's still a bit vague. Like I said, it's more, I have more questions than answers, right? But for now, I'm good with the fact that Trump is asking questions. I need Elon Musk to jump on that. I need other voices to jump. But yeah, Trump, bro, I yield the mic. Like, we shouldn't be feeling attacked, please. Our president, they're sleeping.
Yep.
They're in cahoots with these people that are like literally destroying our lives. It is me and you, Christians and Muslims together. So why are the Muslims feeling attacked? Like, I won't say all the Muslims, it's just few people, right? But I don't think we should be feeling attacked. We should literally hold each other's hands and ask and join for them to ask these people questions. Just like tweets between 24 to 48 hours. Are you seeing that our president or other people are talking now? Nobody was talking before.
Exactly, Kene, bam.
Okay.
Real-time information. You just fool Nigeria. Don't mind these people.
Let's stick to the topic, right? So I know there are people who have questions. Perhaps before we round up, then I'll give opportunity for people to ask questions. But this is very, very important. Trump threatens military action in Nigeria. What is your take on it? So if you have a question, please do not raise your hand. Let's allow people who want to contribute to this particular topic. Then perhaps when we finish, I'll pass the mic for those who have questions. There's a guy, somebody here, Mr. Peter. Peter, you have.
They are conquered people, absolutely, Kenny.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning. Charlie, good evening. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and felt like I need to contribute to this. Looking at all the news, and for me, I think
Denver, Colorado, you sound Nigerian,
a lot of uncertainty, but I really appreciate that this is getting visibility. You know, I have in-laws in Benue State that, you know, have experienced this issue with the Fulani militias, raiding villages in Benue State, and it's always sad to see these things happen over and over again, and the government will just be quiet until when a foreigner like the Pope or the President of the US makes a comment about it. It just shows you how much value we give to our people. And for me, honestly, I just hope that this leads to a positive change. I'm just trying to game out the end scenario. If eventually, if the US decides to, go to war in Nigeria, are they looking for a regime change, or are they looking at resolving the issue? If the Tinubu presidency if they're gonna still continue, how is that relationship gonna go? Those are things I'm thinking of the end game in this particular scenario, and I don't think it's a good end scenario for anyone, especially for Nigerians in Nigeria and even for Nigerians abroad. So, prayer is that this will not escalate to a kind of Libya situation or somewhere else where the whole of northern Nigeria is in some serious crisis, because no one is going to be happy with that, and the economy is going to be badly battered. Let's not forget that northern Nigeria supplies food to southern Nigeria, and so
we get food though. All this northern Nigeria, we have food, fertile soil in the south. I don't know who they advise
what's happening right now, but we need to think about the big picture and the future.
We get fertile land
for
south where if we feed the whole of Nigeria.
A limited whereby it's only the terrorists that are strict enough, that are written off, and not like extended warfare. But for me personally, I support what's going to happen. It's well overdue. I'm really grateful that the US is beaming light on this issue. Governments, both parties, PDP, APC, they've not been able to provide a proper solution. So yeah, if it takes the white man to come and help us figure it out, I do support that, honestly speaking. And I really appreciate all these previous speakers that have spoken about this. It shows that we're engaging. I think Twitter is such a powerful platform, because if you think about it, I mean, at the moment I saw a lot of US right-wing figures on Twitter tweeting about this issue with the Benue pastor, that video, I knew that something was going to come out of it. And, it shows how powerful social media is. And so all those videos coming from Nigeria, it's not just ending up in Nigeria, it's going international. And we need to always continue to lobby the right people to help us out of the situation we are currently in.
How many tweets you tweet, speaker? You, speaker, that's the speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter, for your submission. Also, John Amadi. John, you have the mic. Good morning, sir. I hope I'm still audible.
There's no John Amadi.
Hello?
Okay, there is.
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you. Thank you very much. Co-host, Captain, are you still with us? All right, so let's try once more. Mr. Amadi, are you here? John Amadi? All right, he's not responding. Let me quickly pass the mic. Akin, you raise your hand, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so I'm just going to chip in real quickly. So apparently, I live in the Bible Belt in the US, and if I tell you that this thing is a hot button issue, trust me, it's not even funny. A lot of American households cannot look at a map and put a finger anywhere close to where Nigeria is on the map of the world. And tonight, what you have in a lot of households is conversations and discussions, UN policy. Yes, we just, probably wrangled ourselves out of Gaza, Israeli conflict. And now there's a next hot topic, which again, a lot of people look at America from a prism of developed country, freedom, they have their excesses, gay rights and everything else, but don't really understand that the underlying current in terms of, values that holds America true to its constitution is Christianity. So if you're in the southern U.S., Midwest, East Coast, you've got liberal policies and, attitudes. But in this corner where I find myself, it is a hot button issue. So a lot of churches tomorrow, as I've just discovered, I've actually made tomorrow a day of national prayer for persecuted Christians in Nigeria. My brother, you have no idea. The most ignorant, the least traveled American that can even tell you the bordering states to the state he lives in the south is now going to wake up every day and make Nigeria a nation because there is this global outcry that Christians are being persecuted. I don't know how any government would fumble the ball so bad. Now, I'm equally thankful that we're not going to wake up tomorrow afternoon and they've decided in the glory of their foolishness we choose to ban Twitter like they did in 2020. So again, sometimes when you have leaders and a government that refuses to grow up, maybe it takes a big uncle outside to say, you know what, Ogbeni, pull your trousers up and do the right thing. Now, I want to be very careful, in terms of how we shape this narrative that Christians are not being persecuted. Have stories to tell. You watch videos and then you now want to dismiss it as, it's propaganda, is, fifth columnist, opposition. I just find it very, very offensive. And I think we need to be very, very human. We need to be sensitive. And again, this should not can become an opportunity to say, because I don't like one religion, this is foreign interference. But if our leaders would be so careless with keeping our borders porous, keeping the military ill-equipped, allowing a lot of rubbish we've seen in the last 4 years, it's also bad that in the military, when you whistle blow, you are being court-martialed, you're being jailed because you're pointing out corruption and sabotage. I think those are places where, again, it's about time to call. Back to you, mindset.
Okay, thank you very much, Akin, for your submission. Let's go to King. King, you have the mic.
I think this is all me right now. I think this is all me right now. It's skipping.
My word back on that. Now, the first thing, is it the right thing or is it a good thing for Nigeria or something like that? It's absolutely wrong. And it's so wrong on so many levels that we can't, I don't think we have enough time to even discuss all the ways that it is wrong. Not the ways that it could go wrong, but all the ways that it's actually wrong. Now, when the United States look to the east,
exactly,
they see Russia projecting power. The current administration seems to be obsessed with trying to project power. They want some military action, even if they've campaigned the administration. One of the reasons they won the election is that they campaigned that they would not be involved or start any foreign wars. So they are not necessarily going to put boots on the ground. In that case, they're just going to bomb something like the way they did in Iran a few months ago. Now, if they decide in Nigeria, based on all the things they've been saying, they will likely want to target the people who sponsors the terrorists. And these people could be anywhere. So they could say this is a decapitation strike, and they will strike Kaduna. Might not be people here think maybe they will probably bomb the terrorists in some bush. And if those people, the terror sponsors, if they are truly in Nigeria, if they are smart, they will be hiding in places that no one would suspect. And if the United States have the information of where these people are, that's where they probably gonna target. So it could be in Enugu. So if someone from Enugu is on this timeline, say, oh, it's a good thing because they will help us. Well, maybe the people funding the terrorists, maybe they are in Calabar, Lagos, because I'm sure they will not be hiding in Sambisa forest, because they are probably the bureaucratic branch of the terrorist organization. So it's important to understand that fact. So it's wrong because it won't go the way we would expect it to go if they are following what has been happening since the beginning of this current administration. When Israel bombed Qatar, well, the Hamas leadership, they were not there. And some security guard and people who were supposed to guard the building, they died. So it's not going to go away. So they have all the information. What information? The same Ted Cruz that on Tucker Carlson doesn't know the population of Iran, the country he wanted the United States to bomb. He didn't know. He quoted the Bible without knowing which book of the Bible he was quoting. Recently, he said China is engaged in a 1,000-year war with the United States when the United States is barely 250 years old. So we need to look at these things and not fool ourselves and jump from frying pan to fire. That's probably what is going to end up if they decide to take kinetic action. And I don't think they care where they take that kinetic action, as long as they show their military might. Venezuela, Nigeria, how they do it, what they accomplish, I don't think this current administration, they care. So, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like our people see that. Now, just if I still have like 1 minute left. Yesterday, I was tired when I said the Nigerian population are yet to exhaust every possibilities. Now, some people feathers were ruffled the wrong way. Let me clarify. During the program of 1966, what happened? A civil war broke out. In that war, my own father fought in that war, and he ended up as a prisoner of war to the Nigerian side. So my family has suffered from situations like this. The Nigerian government has failed and still failing Nigerians. They've broken the social contract between the population and the government. They have failed to protect the citizens. The citizens are yet to even protest the way Tanzanians are protesting as we speak now. So we are yet, as a people, to exhaust every possibility. Civil disobedience, like not participating in an election at all, we are yet to do that.
You come out to protest. Kingeze, you come out.
Talk about politics, election, and so on. We are yet to exhaust.
When they protest Nnamdi release, you did there.
The political class, the government to take an action. We are yet to exhaust all of those options. So celebrating outsiders that just want to show power regardless of the result, it's not the way at all. It's not the way at all. And Nigeria had been in this position before in 1966. And people decided to fight and break the country and stuff. Although it didn't work out that way, but here we are again. And in the program, depends which source you are using. The killing was between somewhere 8,000 to 50,000, depends which source you are using. And today, more people had been killed in Nigeria, more than the people who were killed for a war to break out. And yet, nothing has happened. Now, yesterday, I also spoke on the aftermath of such event. We saw the intervention in Libya. A lot of Nigerians had died, even if it was in Nigeria that was bombed, because the Sahara opened up and the Mediterranean opened up. Very risky journey. Many Nigerians are living like slaves in Southern and Central Europe because that country was destroyed. Please, I beg all of you, I know we are angry. I know the situation is tough, but this is not the right way in any sense.
Oh yeah, take it. Give us solution now. Come and fight for us.
First.
Oh yeah, now. Come and lead protest.
We can call for help.
Easy to speak English.
We've done enough. Thank you, mindset.
Come out and do your own now. Easy to talk. I beg him, we hear words. How many protests you come out for? Ordinary Nnamdi Kanu release Nnamdi. You show up.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Mr. King, for your submission. Let's quickly go to Johnson. You have the mic. Good morning.
Okay, Mindset, good morning and good morning to you, Mindset, and thank you for the opportunity. Good morning to everyone here, and maybe good evening, depending on where you're spacing from. Let me just start by apologizing. I am just recovering from cold, so my voice might be a little bit cracky, so I apologize for that. To me personally, regarding this discussion that we are having, I just felt that many Nigerians have become so desensitized with the killings that is actually going on in Nigeria. I have lived or witnessed that experience personally. You know, I grew up in Plateau State, just to be precise. So I've witnessed those killings, and I can tell you from experience that those attacks or those killings
not done enough.
They are not like a sporadic killing whereby they kill everyone. No, those are targeted attacks, and they are usually targeted on Christians. So is there a Christian genocide? Well, I will leave that for all of us to decide, but I can tell you from experience that in such places, those attacks are specifically targeted for a particular group of people. Now, with the question of people having issues about what the President of the United States, Donald Trump, has actually been saying, to me personally, I think that is a good step in the right direction. Because if not for any other thing, like I was just going through my social media online, and I saw Nigerian military just within 24 hours. Nigerian military were posting updates. You know how they have neutralized these terrorists and so forth. Like just within 24 hours, they were posting this update, and I was asking myself, could they be this effective? So why have they not been doing that? You know, it only takes the President of the United States, Trump, to be able to make a statement for them to be able to sit up. So my view to it personally is, if not for any other thing, like even if the United States did not attack Nigeria, if not for any other thing, just to be able to get the Nigerian government to be able to sit up to their responsibility, I think it should be a welcome development for every Nigerian. You know, I sometimes cringe a little bit when I heard people trying to rationalize what is happening. You know, it's, if you've not been in that situation, experienced those killing, you know, helpless people being killed. If you've never experienced such killing, you might not really understand how it feels, you know? So I don't want to rationalize whether America is coming, like I've been seeing some posts on the social media, they are coming after Nigerian resources and stuff like that. And I ask myself, which resources? You know?
Exactly.
The resources that Nigerians are not benefiting
anything
anything
from.
You know? No, Nigeria is actually benefiting from that resources.
Thank you.
Personally, I don't think there is any resources in Nigeria that America doesn't have.
Exactly.
So,
even if they want time, now waiting Nigerians
I'm going to
Nigerian
end with
government
this.
bring
My
on themselves. They want to eat it alone.
Is that the mere fact that the Nigerian army has been posting within the last 24 hours, posting on how they were able to neutralize
exactly back to back,
this and that. I think that is a plus.
Yes,
that is a plus for every Nigerian, except you have a kind of an agenda that you're trying to hide.
Although no pictures, we
just
need to
the mere
see
fact
pictures.
of
They might be just
Nigeria, like, who even cares if Muslims are being killed? It is the responsibility of the government to prevent those killings.
Exactly.
So when the government is failing and you have the president of Trump making a statement and people are rationalizing and saying every other thing, where were those smoke for the government of Nigeria for all those killings that have been happening?
Exactly.
So for the president of Nigeria to show seriousness and for us to be able to take them seriously, they have to start making sure that some of these killings that we are witnessing and seeing every day, they have to start prosecuting those terrorists, no more giving amnesty. I don't know why they say repentant terrorists, like we've been hearing. They give repentant terrorists amnesty, and sometimes they even absorb them into the Nigerian military. To me personally, the only repentant terrorist that you're going to have is the repentant terrorist that is dead.
Yep.
There is no amnesty for repentant terrorists. Those terrorists should be held accountable. Like, where are the convictions? Even if they are not being killed, they should be prosecuted and put life in jail. And not the one that maybe they give them amnesty or you see them riding their bikes everywhere, carrying up guns, AK-47 and other ammunition. The government have all those intelligences and they left all those things happening. And now we want to come to show patrioticness. We are patriotic to Nigeria and say America shouldn't come to invade. No. The lives of Nigerians matters. Every Nigerian, regardless of Christian or Muslim, and it's the responsibility of the government to protect every of those lives. That is the bottom line. Thank you, Mindset. I think I want to yield back so that I don't take much of your time, but I appreciate the opportunity, Mindset.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson, for your wonderful submission. I agree with you that the Nigerian military in the last couple of hours has started posting how they are dealing with these terrorists. And the good thing about it for me is they are not calling them bandits. I don't know how many of you have seen that. They have not called them what they should, who they are. They are calling them terrorists. I think it's a progress. We are making progress. I think this is what Nigeria has been asking for. Let's call these guys who they are by the name they are known for. Right? Bandits is just, it waters it down. But call them terrorists and deal with them. And the Nigerian army if they need any help, and if anybody can help in any way without putting yourself in danger, please speak out. We don't want anybody to be killed in Nigeria. Do I think that the military, the Americans should come in? I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think so. I don't think they should come in. That's my own opinion. You might disagree with me. We have a lot of problems. If there's any way they can help us, to solve this thing without coming in here, and that's my own thing, right? So I know some of you might be uncomfortable with my position, but as somebody hosting this space, I think I have a right to air my own view. Yes, I want this killing to stop, but I don't think it would be wise for me to accept that is bringing the United States Army in Nigeria. I do not think that's what is needed for me. But thank you very much, guys. Do we have any more speakers? So, okay, those raising their hands, I can pass the mic to you. Just bear with me for a minute or two. Let me hear from Ambassador Musa. Ambassador Musa, you have the mic. Good morning, sir.
GM Mindset, thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak out. I'm a Muslim guy from the northern part of this country, specifically from Bauchi State. And for this discussion, I go with Americans. And to be honest, I'm happy that Donald Trump made that statement because I studied my first degree program at University of Maiduguri, where I witnessed the killings of Boko Haram with my own eye. What I could remember, which I will not forget, that I lost my roommate, a Christian guy. He's my friend. When he is coming back from Christmas break, the Boko Haram attacked them in the road and killed hundreds of them.
Wow.
So this incident, I will not forget it. And the problems we have in this country is our politicians.
Yep.
Because me and you believe that these Boko Haram or bandit or any kind of terrorists in Nigeria, they cannot supply their medic, their foods, their guns with themselves. There must be a sponsors. And those sponsors, they may be anyone in this country. So I agree with Americans, but I'm afraid of Americans to come into Nigeria, because what will happen after the Americans wipe out these terrorists in Nigeria? Are they going to leave or are they going to stay? They can't stay. That's the problem. But to be honest, the government cannot prove Boko Haram for how many years, since from 2009 up to date. And now there is bandit, there is plan enhancement, there is this and that. The government cannot do with this. So if the American can come and wipe out these terrorism, Nigeria will be great again. We will be happy about that. Can you imagine somewhere like Zampara, Sokoto, or Kebbi, the terrorists, I can call them the terrorists, these bandits, they are doing whatsoever they want. They can even come to the village or to the town to negotiate to the people. And the government is seeing, the army is seeing, and they don't take any actions. So it is good for Americans to come to Nigeria and take the necessary actions on these terrorisms. It is not about, the statement is somehow, it is not about killing the Christians in Nigeria. These terrorism are killing everyone, are killing both Muslim and Christian. Nobody is happy about these terrorisms. We want them go. We want them to be wiped out. That's what I'm going to say. Thanks, when I said we'll give me the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Musa, for your submission. But before I pass the mic to you, we have a new speaker here. Please bear with me. Mr. Nick. Nick is Nick, Chartered Accountant, Energy Expert. Nick, if you can hear me, can you kindly unmute your mic? Have the mic there. Good morning.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. I'm speaking to you from Abuja, Nigeria, where there is no power supply. So the whole place is dark. That is to tell you the nature of the country that we live in. A country that is rich in energy sources. We have more gas than oil. We have the sunlight. We have the water for hydro. We have the wind. We even have the land for biomass. Yet, this is the capital city of a country of 200 million people. There's no electricity. As basic as that is. And because there's lack of electricity, it then means that the economy is really very small. And because the economy is small, it's not able to create enough jobs for the young people of Nigeria. And because we have a lot of idle young people around the country, they are easily taken into criminality because a man who is hungry is willing to do anything for food. So these are some of the basic things that we have leaders. They come into office for 4 years, for 8 years, they meet 5,000 megawatts of electricity. After 8 years, they leave 5,000 megawatts of electricity for us. In comparison, you look at a place like Qatar, 3 million people, 9,000. So 9,000 megawatts. Qatar is supplying.
Sorry to interject, please. I know you're making a very important, you're making sense of what you're trying to say, but I want us to stick to this particular topic, if that's okay with you, sir.
Yeah, I was coming to that. So let me come back to the point. So the point I'm raising here, number one, we have been mixing up, even the speakers in this forum, they have been mixing up banditry and terrorism. They are not the same thing. Maybe I should clarify it so that everybody will know what's happening. A bandit is like an armed robber.
Yep.
They are out to make money from whoever. You can be a Christian, you can be a Muslim, you may be an atheist, you may be a humanist. For them, they don't care. They just want to make money so that they can buy arms, so that they can buy drugs, they can spend and do all of that. So they attack anybody. They are in for it's like an economic crime. They just want money. So that is banditry. Then we have terrorists. Terrorists are ideological. They have an ideology and they go out to pursue that ideology. And we have terrorists in Nigeria who are against Christians. So when we say, Muslims are also being attacked, just like Christians, we're mixing the whole thing up. I don't know whether it is deliberately or it is out of ignorance. The bandits are attacking everybody. The terrorists are targeting Christians. I'll give you examples. Look at Owo. These terrorists got into Owo. Owo is a sprawling city. Incidentally, that's where I served. I served in Ondo State. So I know Owo. Owo's got banks. He got all other economic institutions. They didn't go there. They went straight to the church. And they killed dozens of worshippers in the church, terrorizing even those who survived. And they left Owo. If anybody tells me that is not Christians being targeted, then how else can Christians be targeted? Because if these guys got into a war and they attacked banks, they attacked maybe even security institutions, they attacked everywhere they wanted to attack, including the church, then you can say, yes, they just came and the church happened to be part of the collateral damage. No, they came into a war. They attacked only that church and they left. I am from Benue State. They come into Benue. Benue also has a Muslim population. Oh, it's not much, but it's there. They will never go to a mosque and attack a mosque in a place like Benue. They go to churches. And when they attack the churches, they kill the priests, they kill the worshippers, they depart.
Bam.
This is the modus operandi of the terrorists in Nigeria. I don't know why people are just talking about, Muslims are also being killed. In fact, there's one of the speakers said, if Christians are being killed and Muslims are being killed, then what the hell are we talking about? Is it not therefore that it's a religious thing? But even at that, is there any story anywhere in Nigeria today, as we have it, where Christians have gone to burn a mosque? But these people who are burning churches and they are killing Christians are of the Muslim, they are of Islam. Like one of the Muslims said, he doesn't believe in it. Islam doesn't agree to violence. But we can't take the fact away that these guys are not Christians killing Christians. They are Muslims killing Christians. So how can we then try to minimize the issue and try to cover it up with some sort of grammar, right? Having said that, you will now notice that even in the north, Borno State, it's got a large population of Christians. Adamawa State, there's a large population of Christian. Plateau State, all of the states. Where they are attacking, mostly those places, are Christian institutions. Chibok is a Christian community where they went and carried those 200
Donald Trump wants to send people in. What do you have to say, Oga?
Of these people going to carry Muslim girls from a Muslim school? Have there ever been a story like that? If anybody has it, let them bring it. We can't be hiding the truth under these guise of Muslims are also being attacked. Muslims are being attacked by bandits. But terrorists are attacking Christians. And if you watch, you will see that the new frontier is Benue, Plateau. They avoid Nasarawa State. Because Nasarawa State has got a huge population of Muslims. And they come into
All right, so we've lost Mr. Nick. Bolanda, you raised your hand. Please go ahead quickly so I can pass the mic to the next person.
I did, and that'll be the last time because I'm getting bed. I've noticed, or I have been observing, well, not observing, but listening in, and heard people speak, and I'm kind of like worried. I'm worried that the issue is going to be politicized, and it shouldn't really be. It is not what Trump decided on. Is it scary? Yes, it is. Right, but we also know that when it comes to their military weaponry, it's the biggest and almost one of the most sophisticated in the world. So if they have checked and know where these people are, it's likely to be one of those strikes where, there will be less collateral damage. But what is disturbing me about it is the fact that people are making up an argument, and they've been arguing for years, for decades. Right, and I remember reading a report in 2018 from a member of the House of Lords here in the UK, where they came on a fact-finding mission, and they wrote an extensive report outlining what they found, because the Nigerian government of the time kept on saying that the killings were as a result of herder-farmer clashes. So they went and they observed, they connected people on the ground, they got the data that they needed, and concluded that this is not a journey through from outside through the belt. This is not that. This is different. They are killing people. Whatever provocation. When did murder become okay? Right. People make that argument. Cattle rustlers. Right. So they kill your cow, you kill them. Right? The government continues to mollycoddle them instead of taking decisive action. Said that they have not had government to give the government more time. As far as I know, when people voted in Buhari, it was over a decade ago thereabouts, so 10 years thereabouts. And in that time, instead of it getting better, it's actually getting worse. We were all often told that there's a new terrorist group that has joined. I read the reports that I have access to, and I'm thinking to myself, heck, why is the government not doing anything? They don't even mention. It doesn't matter to them that people have died. So on one hand, I really want Trump, right, to do Trump and basically do something, because I don't understand where's our breaking point. It's not about, yes, it is about Christians being targeted, but even you as a Muslim, my dad was a Muslim, and we would have those conversations, and we were finding places where places where we kind of were on the same page. And I know that he would say that human lives should be valued, right? These people are not valuing human lives, so why are you defending them? You're saying they're not Muslims, then why are you defending them? At the end of the day, we have a problem with terrorism. I would quite welcome decisive action. Thank you, Mindset, and have a good happy.
Thank you very much, Balonle, for your submission. So, guys, we have quite a number of persons listening to this conversation, and I would like us to stick together. I really like the fact that Balonle mentioned, some of the things that has happened, and at the end of the day, she made her submission that she would like them to come in. What is your take on Trump bringing the military, American military to Nigeria? What is your take on it? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Do you think it's something we should be very proud of? That's the conversation. I want us to round up with that, please. We know we have a problem. We know people are being killed, both Muslims, Christians, and what have you have been killed. But this is the situation right now. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 1 minute. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe we'll start hearing bomb, but we don't want that to happen. So what is your take on this? I want us to stick to that, if that's okay with everybody, please. On that note, Savik, you have the mic quickly, sir.
No, man, just a minute. See, there's something you mentioned before about the publication that the defense headquarters has been putting out for the last 28 or 48 hours, right? Nigerians shouldn't be fooled by that. I don't know if these people think that's hello?
Sorry, I'm not sure who. Sorry, it's Mr. Abu Jaffa. Please, sir, can you mute your mic? I apologize, sir. I apologize, Savik. Please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I don't know if these people think that Nigerians are morons or something. That, because Trump issued a statement and they started issuing out all these statements the last 24 hours or 48 hours, right? That's to tell you, and myself, you mentioned something here. These guys, they were complicit in this. They changed its terrorist name to bandits. It was this same government that did that. And the reason why they did it was that they know if they refer to them as terrorists, they are under obligation by international law to go after them. Right? So the reason why they smartly changed their name to bandit was that so that they cannot use force on them because they were complicit. I just wanted to make this clear so that Nigerians understand that the government of the day is complicit in whatever that is going on. And that's what this US government have seen. Because you cannot just turn out within 24 hours and start calling them terrorists. These are the same people you've been referring to for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years as bandits. You refuse to call them terrorists because under international, you call them terrorists, you need to go after them with a brute force. But what they've been doing all this while, they've been rehabilitating them and then bringing them back into the populace to cause more havoc. So Nigeria shouldn't be fooled by what defense headquarters are putting out, right? The thing is that we should all be praying that whatever the US wants to do, they should actually follow it in such a way that there won't be collateral damages. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Savik. So let's quickly go to Tim. Tim, you have the mic. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Mindset, and everyone for those brilliant submission. I would say that we must be careful because the implication will definitely leave a bad taste in our mouths. And I'm saying this because, you see, the Latin maxim, nemo dat quod non habet, you cannot give what you do not have. The America that you think will solve the terrorism or the killings in Nigeria, let's check their backyard. The same America, as it solved the killing, the church shooting that happened just some few weeks ago, right? As it solved the shooting that happened with some kids in a Catholic church some few weeks also ago, the same year, and several shootings in churches within the United States and also Catholic schools within the US. So we need to be clear on this issue. Now, furthermore on this implication matter, we also need to be clear that this is entirely worrisome because firstly, that's, you see, when you talk about public policy is not just about the execution of programs. It is also the body language or statements of leaders. And so the statement of President Trump itself is already a policy language and catalyzes a lot of things. One of which is the fact that he made a statement, now disgraced country. That particular statement itself has the implication to put Nigeria's investment at risk. You know that recently Nigeria the president just signed some, I think ill-advised 15% tariff on fuel, right? And with the expectation that Dangote is expecting an investment that would help him soar production of both fuel and diesel refinery. Now, that investment might be at stake, considering it, and several other investments that would have benefited Nigerians after that lifting of the A list and the fraud list that Nigeria and South Africa was on, which means much of that benefit with this kind of statement from the president of the country as the United States will put South Africa at a level advantage in terms of investments than Nigeria. That implication is huge. Let's look at also in terms of, we are saying we want to deal with the bandit situation, right? Now, with this, we can expect sanctions on weapons, security assistance, and even part of economic cooperation. And this is not just about the US, because the US has practically withdrew much of its aids to most countries, including Nigeria, but the European Union. I don't know if some of you saw the tweet where the European Union Commission leader retweeted and was showing support for Trump's statement about Nigeria, right? Where he also mentioned, in quote, now disgraced country. Now, that's implication, because this thing will not just cascade from the US, it will cascade as well as a chain reaction through the European Union, as well as other supposed allies of the US. And that can lead to sanctions, freezes that might disrupt ongoing humanitarian pipelines, as well as other issues. Particularly, I want to mention the Middle Belt region, which is somewhat most affected by this issue. Now, a good brother mentioned brilliantly that it's a long time coming, and laid his perspective. This is the perspective I want to lay mine on quickly, which is this. Muslim presidency in a country with a multi-religious view already sent the wrong policy signal early on. And like the ladies know better, if the foundation be destroyed, what can you do? You only put powder. So we are working already on a powdered foundation, which does not give this current presidency the necessary leverage to be able to dialogue on this scheme as it is. So the problem is not just an issue that we need to just, it's also a governance issue, and might have the implication to restructure the tickets, even for APC in the next election. But let's see how that goes on. But this is my recommendation. Before that, sadly, there is nobody currently in the Tinubu regime, and I can say it with my bold chest, with the reputation to approach the US on this situation. The two Christians who could lead the delegation with the president to dissuade this narrative is Professor Osinbajo, President Goodluck. But sadly, they are currently not in good terms with APC. Even President OBJ, Obasanjo, especially Osinbajo. And if we can, we need to bring on board members of the National Prayer Breakfast, like Pastor Chris Oyakilome, and other key members of the National Breakfast, to get on the president's side to do better. Because some of those narratives to stem from that foundational issue of slighting a population by, like my brother said, religious intolerance, by presenting a governance framework that is based on candidates from a particular religion in a country that is multi-ethnic and multi-religious. That said, two truths can coexist. Yes, there is a killing of Christians in Nigeria. And also, there is also the killing of Muslims, traditionalists, and non-believers too. And these killings must end. But the solution will not come from the United States. This will worsen things than we can ever imagine. I close my case.
No,
thank you very much, Mr. Timmy, for your submission, guys. That is his own opinion. If you disagree with him, please, you can request for the mic and tell us the reason you disagree with him. And on that note, I'll pass the mic to Chiefy. You have the mic. Good morning, sir. Okay, guys. I hope I'm still audible.
Yes, I can hear my headset, but there is something I wanted to add. Please, if you're on speaker session and I approve your request, please do well and raise up your hand and speak so that there are a lot of people that are requesting for mic so that we can bring up other people to speak to end their view.
Thank you very much. So, okay, since the individual is not responding, let's go to Lacanzo. Good morning.
Good morning, Myset. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. So, I've had a lot of comments made on in regards to the new other things I will say. But let me say this. I think it's very important for us to key into the fact that Donald Trump is foxy. He's unpredictable. When he says something, even if it's for the sheer ego of personal MO, this is really a new order of things. So having said that, I also want to point out the fact that this has been a long time coming, and just like
guys, I beg, be like, see, this space no go end now. I gotta go. You can go check it out on other space. So please, I beg. That's the latest. That's what's going on. I think the upcoming days will tell us exactly what the trajectory is going to be. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining me. I gotta shut it down now. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Every day is something new with Nigeria. Thank you, guys. Bye.